Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Monday edition of the Sports Cage. Thanks for coming along. You know, Mondays are a little easier to take on when we have sunshine and 30 degrees into the 30s all week long. And you're not going to hear us complaining, that's for sure. Monday edition of the Sports Cage is brought to you by Smoke'em Diesel. Genuine OEM parts. They do not sell junk. Make sure that you hit them up for whatever you happen to need. I'm Tegan Whitco. I'm here with Dave Thomas, voice of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. And of course, Curtis Gammon is in here with us. So we are getting ready to walk you through everything that was in that game up at Griffith Stadium on Saturday afternoon or evening this past weekend. It was an atmosphere unlike any other for the vast majority of the game. And what a storybook ending. I mean, come on. I don't think you couldn't script that better. That's what we were talking about on the post-game show.
No, you there's absolutely, A, you couldn't script it any better, but B, just the storyline through and through. And when Daniel Wiebe said to you post-game, I thought I was going to get cut in the third quarter. I'm like, woo, okay. Let's see what the film says after the fact. But yeah, the hometown guy, the all-time receiving leader in University of Saskatchewan Huskie history. Not a bad way.
So here it is with 42.9 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter to win it.
Here we go. 48 seconds. Shager in the gun. Back to pass. Looks. End zone. Touchdown! Riders!
That's the local kid, Daniel Wiebe.
Braden Shager finds his man in the end zone. And yes, down, stand up and cheer. It's Daniel Wiebe on a touchdown reception.
Daniel Wiebe, two-step slant inside. Shager, not a lot of time, knows where he wants to go. He's got an inside receiver who runs the defensive back into the back of the end zone. So Wiebe's in a one-on-one situation, and he's got leverage because of the quick slant.
Rosetown, Saskatchewan's own. You know him from the University of Saskatchewan Huskies. Wow. Griffith Stadium, if there was a roof on it, it would have blown up. It was absolutely incredible. The game winner, and we had a chance to speak with him after the game. You caught that touchdown pass. It looked like you were just waiting for that moment to explode. What did you see in that touchdown pass?
Man, just a great throw from Shager there. I mean, it was open. He threw it well, and yeah, we got the win. That's all that matters.
Now, you're no stranger to catching touchdown passes in this stadium, but how did this one feel different?
It felt really good. You know, the start of the game, I wasn't playing as good as I was hoping for, but, you know, just trying to play by play every single play, so try to get a little better, and, you know, ended off good. Yeah, it meant a lot being at home for sure in front of the hometown crowd, too.
Oh, I can imagine. Now, what does the rest of training camp look like for you? What are you looking to improve upon?
I got to be better in, honestly, every aspect. Like I said, today I didn't play as good as I was hoping for. Lots to improve on for sure. There's a lot of adjustment for sure, so I just got to keep getting better, keep showing them I'm trying my best, and keep working for sure.
Such a cool moment for that University of Huskies Saskatchewan player. I mean, come on. It doesn't get better than that. And Shager with a great throw right to the numbers, too.
Oh, absolutely. Again, it was a timing play that the timing was executed to perfection. And the one thing that Luke Mullender and I were kind of mulling about after the fact was that, again, with a number of different quarterbacks that have thrown Daniel Wiebe a pass thus far in training camp, to have that much rapport with Shager or whomever it was going to be, but in that instance, Braden Shager, shows a lot to the way that he, being Daniel Wiebe, has been adaptable, but also to the ball and the delivery that Braden Shager had on that play.
That was a very big topic of discussion in the postgame show, was the performance from Braden Shager, right? And that it was the same thing in Calgary last week in the first preseason contest, but that was definitely something people wanted to talk about. But before we tell you what people had to say, I do also just want to slide in here really fast. There was some kicker talk, but it was all positive in Jonathan Kim. So that's good.
Yeah, that's absolutely very good. I thought there was an and but or my gosh, no.
No, I just feel like it's all about balance, because if we're going to talk about those types of players on special teams when they're not playing well, we should also talk about them when they are playing well.
It sounds like you have PSTD. When it comes
PTSD?
to, yeah, that's the one. RESPEC. Never mind.
Oh,
Different
geez.
spelling word.
Okay.
But it really sounds like there's something going on in the back of your mind when we talk kickers. Maybe some hurt feelings or something from last year, some emotional stress that we were under, duress, if you will.
On the Rider Nation call-in show,
Yes.
I do feel like some individuals may have been unfair to Brett Lawther. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm going to say about it.
That's why we turn things over to Rider Nation. I get it, but you're right. Spade to spade. Jonathan Kim has been good. He's been perfect in preseason play. Alex Hale has missed a couple. That again is no condemnation. That's just the statistics. You read into them what you want them to do. Today they had another kickoff at training camp, and yes,
How did that look?
Good.
Yeah.
Again, they put them in kind of the swirly end. So the north end zone swirls more apparently than
That's
what
Pill
the south
Country end, right?
No, that's the south.
Opposite one. Oh, okay. I understand.
I'm not going to
I'm directionally challenged. I brought this up on here before.
Fair enough.
We don't need to talk about me.
First step is admission.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about me in depth getting lost in my hotel room up in Saskatoon this past weekend. That's good enough.
No, that's fair. But again, apparently the north end zone swirls a little bit more, while the south end zone can have weird gusts that affect the ball coming in off of the street, if you will, depending on which way the wind's coming. So they're going into the north end zone today.
All right. And I mean, you got to get practiced up. June 13th, someone's going to be kicking at Mosaic Stadium for the home opener and the banner unveiling. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves here, though.
No. And you know what? The one thing that was really cool today was that a lot of the players saw the facility that is Mosaic Stadium for the first time yesterday, right? Training camp moved from Saskatoon down to Regina. Rave reviews. And these are from some guys that went to some big schools like Jonathan Kim and Michigan State, which I understand is a great university.
If you ask Luke Mullender,
yeah, he'll tell you. So I'm just saying, again, it was kind of an eye-opening day in a lot of different ways for the Riders, and it's going to be an interesting 5 days ahead.
And then that's it for training camp, and the Riders have a bye week for week one of the regular season.
Make a roster move or 2 or 3 or 4 on the weekend, and then they'll be set. They go on their separate ways. Again, mandated time off. I've already heard inclinations that some players are going to continue working out here in Regina, but again, that's on their own. That's their own time. But yeah, I know that there's a lot of excitement to get the season started. Unfortunately, it's just going to take some time to get the season started.
But we will get there. And this past weekend, of course, as Dave mentioned, we always turn it over to Rider Nation following these games, whether it's regular season, pregame, or preseason games, whatever it may be. And Shager was a big topic of conversation. In fact, we did get a call from a gentleman by the name of Luke from Calgary.
This might stand for some automated car company, but here in football, Waymo. What are you made of? Mr. Braden Shager. I have to say, to lead a last-minute touchdown drive, we have like a minute and a half left in the game. You know, Canadian rules, clock stops after every single play. I don't want to overhype the guy, but like, if we're going to compare Braden Shager to Taylor Algersma, I think Braden Shager outplayed Taylor Algersma today.
Don't disagree.
No, I don't either.
I don't disagree at all. By the way, if you want to join in the conversation, maybe you do disagree with both, Dave, myself, and Luke from Calgary. You can always text us, Prairie Land Rentals, text line 306-936-6262. Or you can always call us if you'd like as well. Same number or toll free 1-866-767-0620. There was a lot of people quite impressed by Braden Shager, and that also means a lot of people are looking at Jack Cohn possibly a little bit different. But at the end of the day, we're not the ones making the roster decisions. But we did get another call from John in Saskatoon regarding the quarterback position.
For a guy that's only 23 years old, he looks like a bona fide starter in my honest opinion. So I kind of compare him to a different type of version of Davis Alexander. Kind of like a Davis Alexander type player. He's smart and he knows what he's doing. You know what I mean, eh?
He was looking good. He was looking comfortable out there.
14 of 19, 179 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions along the way. If passer efficiency, if you follow that, 76.4, which means that he was good. Trevor Harris was 158.3, which is perfect. But again, you can't dispute that he showed well. He has, and that's what drove me nuts last week after the game in Calgary on the Tuesday. Yeah, but he played the second and third and fourth stringers. Well, you only play who you play.
Yeah.
And it's how you execute it. And again, for me, speaking volumes was making the play to Abdul Janae Jr. That was a great drive extending play. But then, again, clear not simple, clear timing route. And if you can connect on that, you're doing something right.
And, Jack Cohn did look more comfortable as he continued his play within that first half of the football game as well. So let's not discount him, but yeah, Shager's definitely pushing him.
Well, and let's not discount Jack Cohn's effort, right? Like, man, he was absolutely walloped with that hit. That was high, right?
Yeah.
And you were there. Like, you can tell me what was the level of concern, because Trevor Harris doesn't just run out onto the field to check on anyone.
Yeah, I think it looked concerning initially. But to Wes Cates's point, when we were on the sideline, the way that he jogged off, he was fine. I think he was just a little shaken up on the play.
It was a jarring hit.
Yeah.
But,
he's a tough guy.
Oh, no, absolutely. And I think that just speaks to the competitive nature that Jack Cohn has, right? Like, he is not going to let anything stand in his way. He's got the Notre Dame pride, of course. He played at a quality school. He's got the pedigree, and he's just showed it off a little bit yesterday, I thought.
It's definitely been interesting to watch this backup quarterback position, because obviously we know Trevor Harris is starting. He showed that he's ready to go.
Of course.
Like, there's no question there. But we will have more coming up on the Saskatchewan Roughriders in the training camp report, brought to you by the Red Zone Sports Bar. And we will talk a little bit more about what transpired following that 31-27 win over the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Again, I get it. It's preseason, but it's still a win over the Bombers.
Look at you throwing that out there.
I have to. All guests will be joining us on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline as well. Perfect pizza, generous amount of toppings, and all the Greek favorites you love. So yes, Red Zone training camp report with more information from today's practice. That's going to be coming up in a little bit here. You can also feel free to reach out to us if you have any comments and you missed the call-in show. Again, 306-936-6262. Even if you have a question here. I know Paul sent one in for you, Dave. We'll get to that in just a little bit.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
I'll prepare.
So we also have Michelle Duchene coming in after 4 o'clock. She'll be joining us. She is the general manager, co-founder of the Saskatoon Valkyries. And Michelle and the 2011 to 2014 Valkyries team will be inducted this fall into the Saskatchewan Sports Hall of Fame. That is a huge honor and so well-deserved. 10-time league champions.
Yeah, it's incredible. They got another win. They're still undefeated on the season after a win over the Regina Riot yesterday. Michelle Duchene, as far as I'm concerned, is football and good person royalty. So it's going to be fun to talk to her.
Yeah, we're really excited that she agreed to come on the show with us today. And of course, we do have your clutch performer, as always. That'll be coming up around 4:30. I got a couple of good ones from this weekend. I think you might too. But we'll see what everyone comes up with once we get there.
I'm going to stun some people with mine.
Okay.
I'll tell you, it's Kevin Gosman, but not for the reasons you think.
I like that tease.
Thanks.
Hang tight. 4:30. We'll have it for you. Red Zone training camp reports, by the way, brought to you by the Red Zone Sports Bar in Saskatoon behind the Travel Lodge. Go watch the game with friends. They got daily specials, the most screens in Saskatoon, and I can attest their chicken fingers were really good.
You're good.
Yeah.
All right.
I know everyone was talking up the wings, but bones just get in the way.
Shall I make the confession?
What's that?
That they make a mean bowl of soup.
For anyone who knows Dave Thomas, he lives on soup, I think. That's
Not
probably
live,
50% of your diet.
Certainly enjoys a good bowl of soup.
It was like 25, 26 degrees out that day. We
Yeah.
go for supper after the game. What does he order? Hot soup.
Clam chowder. I had a sore throat.
Well, you have been talking a lot lately.
Not the first person to mention that.
In all the best ways. It's fine.
Fair.
We will be talking to Darian Durant as well. Doubles is going to join us after 5 o'clock. Very interested to hear what he has to say about this quarterback situation with the Riders and what he dissected from the Saturday preseason game.
I'm curious how much noise as a starting quarterback you would hear for that behind you, right? Darian's been in the same situation as Trevor Harris, right?
Oh, yeah.
Where you're starter day one, no matter what. But there always is a battle behind you. Do you get involved? How closely are you watching? Are you trying to mentor?
Do you want to help out the guys? Like, do you want to help them out? You don't want to help out one more than the other because you don't want to show favoritism. What is that dynamic?
100%, right?
Yeah.
Completely agreed.
Intriguing. Today is also your first Red Sox report brought to you by Unifor. Gary Brotzel is going to be joining us from Curryfield. Training camp just opened up today. It's hard to believe that they're already on the field.
Well, season starts, 4 days, 5 days? Like, it's incredible.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be, I'm ready for some baseball. I'm looking forward to that. And Curryfield is always a good place to go. Yeah, May 30th, 6 o'clock. Medicine Hat Mavericks will be in town for that one.
Yeah, they open on the road. The Red Sox on Thursday,
Sorry.
though, right? Isn't
Yes.
that right? Yeah.
Home opener. We'll be on Saturday.
No. Away games, whatever.
Yeah. We don't count those until we're deep into the season. Defending league champions, though. So there's a little bit of pressure.
You'll be at the game on Saturday, right?
Sunday.
Okay.
Sunday I'll be there.
Oh, okay.
I like those matinee games.
I'm very curious what Saturday night is going to look like. I'm hoping that the atmosphere picks up where it left off. You know what I mean? Like you were there, you know.
It was so much fun. So much fun having people sitting up on that hill in Mount Pleasant because there was no room left in the ballpark to watch the game. Exactly. Yeah, bring your bug spray if you have to do that.
And there are some upgrades too to the ballpark, aren't there? Are we allowed to talk about them or no?
As far as I know, we are. I mean, we can ask Gary so we don't get in trouble. Look at you, Curtis. If you're watching the stream right now, he's showing some construction. It looks like...
That's beyond the outfield wall by the looks of it.
Interesting. So they've been hard at work. I know they are bringing in a new digital screen.
Okay.
Not nearly as big as the one that we had up in Saskatoon at Griffith Stadium, but they are going to be upping the production value, is my understanding.
Ah, very cool. You know, it's funny. A lot of people are talking about that screen in Saskatoon, by the way. And could you imagine? Okay, so I love camping. Camping is fantastic, and we used to have a camper trailer. But I tell you, right, it's very, very true that the divorce papers come out when you're trying to back that thing into the spot, and they keep sliding ever closer away from the dashboard until you finally have met that parking arrangement that everybody's happy with and everybody is good. You go and throw those into the campfire. But I was thinking about that when they were trying to bring that Videotron in.
Oh, it was not easy.
Campers can relate.
Yeah, I can't imagine that was fun to deal with at all. But it looked really good.
It did look very good.
It looked fantastic. Yeah. So we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
I don't want to know who was fighting and arguing.
True.
But yeah, today is a beautiful day. Maybe some golf weather. I don't know if have you gone out for a round yet? I know Luke did.
Golf?
Yeah.
No, I have not.
Not yet?
I have not. I have looked at my golf clubs, but they have not moved.
They still have an inch of dust on them?
When I left to Saskatoon, there was snow.
Yeah, that's fair. You've been up there for a while.
Snow on the ground. It was snowing.
Well, today, all week, in the 30s, you might need to go to our auction and maybe bid on some of these. Deer Valley Golf Club, a couple of lots here. So there's a Twilight membership with cart and range included. It's, such a great value. It's like $2,140. You can bid on that for way less than face value. So if you're planning to do a bunch of golfing out at Deer Valley anyway, it's kind of like you're saving money. You know, you're going to spend that money regardless. You might as well pay less than face value and take advantage of all the perks like 7-day advance booking privileges. It's a pretty sweet little deal here. Plus, there's another one, 8 twosome game packs, unrestricted with cart and range. It's a $1,600 value. Way less than face value right now. And everything closes tomorrow night at 6. How
do you vote? I'm not going to vote on the auction. Trust me. How do you bid in the auction?
So HarvardMediaAuctions.com. And the cool thing I like about it, you set up an account once, you're good. You're registered. Yeah. And you can even set your proxy. So if that's sitting at like $100 right now, I could put in 105, but then I could also set it. Well, I don't think I'd do. Yeah, I do 105. But you could also set your incremental bids to say how much you're willing to pay, so you don't have to babysit it, and you'll get an email when you're outbid.
Oh, so you don't have to go ahead and put your high bid in and then leave it because you could be seeding in the field right now. Mm-hmm. You can just go ahead and say, "Hey, I will go this far, but I'll keep bidding up to
this number, whatever that looks like."
That's very, very handy.
HarvardMediaAuctions.com if you want to go check that out. Again, 6 o'clock tomorrow is when it's all going to be wrapping up.
All right.
You know what? I think we should probably take a quick break here, Dave. Okay. Let's come back. We can talk maybe a little NHL and, of course, your Red Zone training camp report. This is the Sports Cage, and it's on the home of Rider Nation, 620 CKRM, and streaming at sportscage.com. Monday edition of the Sports Cage. It's brought to you by Smoke'em Diesel. If you're a fix-it-yourself type of person, Smoke'em Diesel can supply you with injectors, injection pumps, turbos, and all diesel hard parts. So make sure that you hit them up, okay? Smoke'em Diesel. I'm Tegan Whitco here with Dave Thomas, voice of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Curtis Gammon hanging out with us here in the Regina studio as well. It is nice to be back in the Regina studio. It's cozy, you know? It's like when you work on the road for a little while and you're just ready to get back to your old stomping ground. So that's where you're going to see us on the stream. YouTube, sportscage.com. You can also join the conversation at any time at 306-936-6262. There is a question here as we jump into this training camp report for the Red Zone Sports Bar behind the Saskatoon Travel Lodge. Paul wants to know, what's the deal with Dylan Dejette, or Jete? Pardon me. Is he still not feeling hot after rookie camp? Do you happen to know where we're at with D-Lane?
Ramping up.
Okay.
Is what I would say. Ramping up is he's not at a point where he obviously could have participated in the game. And that's a very valid question and call. We didn't highlight him on the injury report as I thought there might have been an outside chance. But again, slowly but surely. And again, like I say, Paul, great question. That I think that I know Luke's concerned. And I'm not throwing Luke under the bus. I'm just saying that Luke is definitely saying that if you're not able to participate right now, it's going to be really, really tough. And midweek last week was kind of where you started to feel that there'd be pressure, angst, anxiety for guys like Caleb Sanders, full participant today, right? Didn't play in the game, of course, on Saturday, which he would have wanted to, and I think the team wanted him to. But again, if you're not healthy, you're not healthy. That's the way it goes. So Dylan Jete, I know that they really are high on him, really excited about him, but right now he's not getting the reps that are being consumed by Daniel Wiebe, Shamar McBean, Del Duncan Busby, and not saying anything about Del. Again, the other two are rookies, but just saying that those reps that were there are being consumed by them instead.
Valid point, though.
Oh, for sure.
Second round pick in the draft. So, okay, let's talk a little bit about what else you saw at camp today. I know that you had an opportunity to catch up with head coach Corey Mace to talk about the team's approach because there is only so many more days left in training camp, now shifted to Mosaic Stadium.
Yeah, this week for us is it's kind of a mix of training camp practices / practices throughout the week, just to get these guys in a little bit of a rhythm and understanding our order of operation here. That being said, days are still going to be a little bit longer than what we get in the season as well. But the main thing is that we're getting enough reps out there to make sure that we're still getting a good evaluation.
And it's going to be evaluation in the heat.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And that's the catch-22. That's the biggest question this week. How do you still evaluate, right?
Yeah.
And Coach Mace has been very transparent in saying that every rep, whether it's a practice rep, whether it's a game rep, whether it's one in the walkthrough, whether it's one in the film room, whatever the case may be, every opportunity is a chance to be evaluated and would not put weight on one over the other. Right? Naturally, you would think that more weight would go to a game rep over a practice rep.
Yeah.
But that's not going to be the case, and that obviously has to be the message to the team. Show what you know this week, and then we'll make decisions on the weekend.
And he also mentioned how the team plans to maintain, that intensity and that focus.
I'd say you let like a draft where you let the board speak to you. You let the roster speak to you. Obviously, if it were up to me, it would be padded every day. But also, you got to have a good understanding of what the team's going through and what's available and how can we push these guys to make sure that we can get good eval on them. So you want the intensity and the reps, whether there's pads on or not, to be at a high clip. But certainly, obviously, when the pads are on, I'm kind of one to put my whistle in the pocket sometimes and coach hard on the tape.
No disrespect, but I think the CFLPA would maybe disagree with head coach Corey Mace on that one.
There's a small potential on that one, but you get the message, right? Just saying that dial up the intensity, ranking it up, and just come out and compete.
Absolutely. And I know there is one player in particular that has really shown up to do just that and compete in these first two preseason games, of course, last week in Calgary, Saskatoon this past week. Duchene Jr. really had a good showing.
You did, absolutely.
Outstanding kid, tough as nails. He just, whenever his number was called, he showed up and he made big plays for us and moving the chains, getting us out of backed up positions. He's been very reliable, and no matter his circumstances, he just kind of pushes through stuff. And I think him being here last year as well for training camp, it was a little bit easy for him to settle into the playbook, and you can tell.
And Dave, you were chatting with Duchene Jr. at practice today, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. 6 receptions, by the way, 107 yards. He had that big 30-yard reception plus in the final moments. So, yeah, I had a chance to talk to him today. Very down-to-earth guy. He was in camp last season at the end of the year with the Roughriders. basically came to training camp, got hurt, his hamstring went out, he rehabbed it all year long. The Riders contacted him in the fall, he came back, and he's making a statement right now.
And he was actually asked about that final drive up in Saskatoon this weekend.
I mean, Shager's that guy, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, we love him. I mean, the way he handles himself is, amazing. And how, when we got on the field, him just talking to us, just getting us ready and go down and score to make a play, to go down there and win the game. Everyone was like amped up, ready to go. And him leading us that drive shows everything about who he is as a person. So.
All right, sounds like he's kind of high on him too.
One vote of confidence for Braden Shager right there. And it was interesting when we had our conversation regarding Abdul Janae Jr. Said, am I saying it right? Because I'm going off what you see on YouTube, right? That's how you find a lot of pronunciations today. Jana. I said, well, how would your mom say? Well, she'd be okay with both because you say it good up here. I'm like, you just tell me your name.
Tell me how to say your name. Yeah. I don't want to get it wrong.
So Jana is how we're going to go.
Jana.
So Jana.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm glad that you clarified that.
Well, again, I'm glad he clarified it eventually, right?
Well, he didn't just talk about the pronunciation of his name, but he also talked about what it means to string together some positive reps in film.
Personally, I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, it's amazing. I was here the last 2 weeks last year for camp. Coming back and having an opportunity to go through the full camp and just show, what I've been working through throughout camp. It was amazing making that play in front of, the fans that came out to see down there. It was really nice. So.
Yeah, that's got to feel pretty good. First two preseason games, looking the way he's looking.
And making plays in practice too, right?
Yeah.
Again, it's all encompassing, this evaluation.
And then competing without another game, because again, we talked about this a little bit. Two preseason games in the books. There's still preseason week 3. The Riders just aren't in it. So, not having that opportunity to get more reps in the game, how do you go about that?
The coaches were saying, we still got, camp's not over, we still got a week left, So just having that mindset that I've had when I first got here for rookie camp, continue that going because, as soon as you start falling off, someone's there to jump you, and everyone's here to compete, everyone's here to earn a job, and you just kind of have to go with the right positive mindset, not be negative. Some days you might not get the ball, some days you might not be, making plays all the time, but as long as you go in with the right mindset, not having any mess ups, just doing what you're supposed to do, things are going to work out how it's supposed to.
Abdul Jannah Jr. I'm not going to mess this up anymore, I promise. But
well, no, it's going to be on me now. I'll be the one that messes it up.
Because you're just overthinking it.
Get off my train track, if you will. You know what I mean?
But competing without the other game, that's a good mentality to have heading into that. But he was also talking about retrospectively what he's been able to do.
Watching the film, like you said, with our coaches, Coach Mueller, Coach McQuay, they really, helped us just identify, who is who. And, it's a little different down here in the States, having that extra guy on the field. So be able to identify, who's, the playmakers out there on defense. And they had some of their starters starting out for the first couple series of the game. So just keying into a film, watching film, knowing where you're supposed to be. Trevor's also been really, really helpful, just understanding, windows and zones and be able to slow the game down a lot for me. And that's helped me a lot during camp. And our defense out here, they've been making it, really hard on me. And making it hard on me in practice, and that translates to the game, and the game feels way easier now.
Yeah, when he talks about Trevor Harris helping him out, I imagine Trevor would be one of those teammates who would be really good at teaching those players around him.
I absolutely, leadership is earned, right?
Yeah.
And the way that Trevor articulates himself, I think, is what is a standout for me, right? Again, he says and does the right things, but also being able to explain the right things, I think goes a long, long way. And as you were hearing Abdul say there, he's had some success, but it's a team effort getting him into successful spots. And let's face it, when you put up 100 and some yards and you don't start the ball game, that's not bad.
Doing okay for yourself.
Yeah.
Speaking of chemistry with Trevor Harris, he was talking about, developing chemistry with quarterbacks in general.
Yeah, it's been nice. Just working in with each group and just understanding, who's in that quarterback, how one quarterback throws to the other. Shager throws different than throws different than Harris, so all of them just even after practice, it's like going catching some balls, whether it's a couple balls, whether it's a lot of balls, just understanding that chemistry is important, because once you get in the game, you don't know what could happen, so just understanding, who's in and just making the best of the opportunity.
Duchene Jr.
There you go.
I don't feel bad about mispronouncing his name a couple of times previously because he said Cohen instead of Cohen.
Well, I called him Janae all game on Saturday because that's what YouTube told me. Don't believe everything on YouTube, kids.
Yeah, Yeah, that's a risky mistake. Actually, no, everything on the internet is true. I take that back.
There you go.
Yeah. So Duchene Jr. Was also talking a little bit about wearing the number 76, because this came up a couple of times on the broadcast.
It's just cool right now. I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm making 76 look real nice. Hopefully, I'll get to change that. If not, I'll stick with it. It's cool. Yeah.
Well, you got to rock it, right?
Yeah. Well, it's a training camp number, right? So.
And you only have so many numbers to pick from, and there's a lot of guys there. How many players did you say were dressing for both teams on Saturday? Do you remember that number?
148, something like that. Two teams combined on their rosters. Not all 148 played. There were some guys that didn't
see the field,
but they were on the roster, so they were eligible to compete. And it's funny, getting back to Abdul for just a moment, mentioned YouTube, and if you want to go on YouTube, you can find, right? So, but the highlights that you'll find of him aren't in football. They're actually basketball highlights. Like, he won one of those viral slam dunk moments, and so that's where Gen A came from.
In fact, I think you alluded to that at SportsCage.com, did you not? You did a piece on him today.
Yes, that was our training camp roundup, so I talked a little bit about him, the camp that he's put together, as well as some big high-flying plays today. You won't believe who had the probably best touchdown pass of the day.
Okay, you might have to go read that training camp report at sportscage.com. Duchene Jr. trying to make Saskatchewan Roughrider roster spot a slam dunk. So now you know why that headline makes a little more sense.
There you go, see?
And your training camp report is brought to you by the Red Zone Sports Bar behind the Saskatoon Travel Lodge. One more conversation I want to get to here before we have to take a quick break. Malcolm Bell. He was very fun to watch in that Saturday preseason game.
You know what? He is moving fast. He's got a lot of confidence in himself and confidence in the playbook. I know he raised a lot of eyebrows when he said, "I'm coming in to be a starter." Right? Like, I think everybody was like, who is this kid? Like, what's going on here? But he's backing it up with his plays, putting quality reps on the field in practice all the time. And again, he looks willing to learn, which I think is perhaps one of the biggest compliments you can give someone.
So he was the first round pick for your Saskatchewan Roughriders in the 2026 CFL draft. And Dave had a one-on-one with Malcolm Bell.
Malcolm Bell always smiling. Why not? You got an interception in the first CFL game that you play in. How is this?
It's been great, and to correct you, second one. So there you go. There you go. But no, it was great. It was great. No interception. First one in a minute, too. First one in the decade. So it's feeling great, man, especially for me, myself, and my people. Hard work pays off, and they finally did a little bit. But we got to keep going, though. We got to keep, because that was preseason, so even though I'm happy about it, not that it doesn't count, it counts in a way, but we're trying to make it count on the stat line and on the score sheet at the end of the game during the season.
Did you say first interception in a decade?
Yeah, man. The last pick was 2019.
When was that, and where was that?
That was high school. I was in high school the last time I got a pick in an official game. So since 2019, I ain't got a pick. That was the first time since I was 17. I'm 24 now.
Wow. So tell me about the play as it came to you.
So all game they're telling me watch for the 7. What's funny is that the play call that I had, I didn't have to watch for the 7 because technically it wasn't man, but hearing the guys all game in the sideline be ready for the 7, I climb up to the 7. It wasn't even a 7. It's just a comeback. The receiver slipped, Sap dropped the ball, tipped it, and I got it. I was just there at the right moment, at the right place at the right moment. So got lucky in a bit, but it's okay though.
Got to be there to get it, right?
Exactly, got to be there to get it. We got it. That's what mattered. We could have got there and dropped the ball, but we got there and cut the ball, so that's what mattered.
So let's talk a little bit about this defensive secondary that you're now becoming accustomed and acclimated to. We were told by Marcus Sales, he said, you know what, there's so much communication, and like you said, some guys will say watch for the 7, right? Mm-hmm. And we have to be able to make those adjustments on the fly. That can't be easy when you're trying to learn a system.
Yeah, it can be easy, but at the same time, having vets that we got, vets with multiple years, and the way the players that we got, the leaders that we got, they help me every day. Like they're gonna coach me hard, but never coach me mean. You know what I'm trying to say? Like watch the message, not the tone, like they say. So really, it's perfect. Every time I come in the game, they're gonna make sure that you get it right. Like it doesn't really matter how they how they say it to me, as long as the message is understood and is going through my head. That's all that matters. So yeah, like Sale say, if it's not Sale, it's TC. If it's not TC, it's Milligan. Not Millie, it's D-Field. It's not D-Field. There's always somebody. So that's what I'm trying to say, that even in the game, wasn't even the corners telling me that, it's the halfback telling me that, it's the safety telling me that. So yeah, even though it's fast, you just got to keep listening. You got to keep listening. You're going to make the mistake. They know I'm a rookie. They gave me that little cushion of being a rookie. But by the time we get to the season, I'm going to be right and I'm going to be ready to go.
You mentioned you hadn't played on a Canadian field since grade 11. How has that adaptation gone?
Oh, I mean, it's not hard, but, it's just been an adaptation, like you said. And, I'm just doing it. I'm just learning every day. Every day we're getting better. We're getting used to it. Like, all this stuff is repetition at the end of the day. Football's going to be football, but you just got to get used to it and comfortable within the system. So this is my second week, my second full week. We're entering my third week. It's starting to get easy. Ask me the same question a month from now, and I bet you I'll tell you it's easy.
You talk about comfortable and adaptation. You moved from Saskatoon to Regina. I don't know if you've ever seen the stadium before from the inside out. What does it look like?
Lovely. I mean, you always see on social media and on the internet, but I never been here in person. Now that I'm here in person, man, can't wait to play and make plays in the stadium. You can already tell it's loud, even though there's nobody in here. Like, you can already tell it's a great stadium, all in green and white, like I like it. So I love this stadium. And exactly, Saskatoon was nice and Griffin Stadium was lovely, but I think this a little bit better.
Pretty good player amenities?
Yeah, pretty good player amenities. That's what I'm saying. I was really surprised coming in the facility. I was like, wow. So I see why we're number one in Canada. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about this final week then. What do you need to do to prepare yourself for the regular season that is going to kind of take a couple of weeks to get to?
I think I need to learn a second position, first and third, because as you can see, man, football it's a long season, and football, unfortunately, there's injuries, and I can't count on only playing corner and just helping my brothers out. So I think the thing I got to learn this week, and with the bye week, we don't play for 3 weeks, is to learn another position, because, like I said, all year, 20 games, 18 games, you don't know when somebody's going to go down. You might need to hop in somewhere. So I think the this week is finish the details at corner, make sure I master the corner position, and then we go ahead and learn another position, because 12 men on the field, 6 DBs, you got to be able to play at least 2 of them.
So at first I'm thinking, okay, you're going to think about learning halfback. But then I thought, well, no, maybe you're thinking safety. I don't know if you've got experience at either. Is there a specific position you want to learn?
I played safety in high school, but then again, that was high school. Yeah. So I'm not gonna put that experience with the professionals. So we're not gonna count that one. But I think halfback is only right because the halfback is always next to the corner. So you want to know the guys that what they do to the right, what they do to your left. Well, half of the time is the sideline, so I just got to learn the other side. So I think I feel half. Feel half is probably what I'm trying to learn. Doesn't really matter exactly if your boundary is safety, but I think it's only right that I learn the position next to me, which is feel half.
Sounds like a plan to me. And so far, the plan has gone according to plan.
Yes, sir.
2 CFL games, 1 interception.
Yes,
Malcolm,
sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Saskatchewan Roughriders' own Malcolm Bell in your training camp report, brought to you by the Red Zone Sports Bar behind the Saskatoon Travel Lodge. And we did get another text in here on the Prairie Land Rentals text line, 306-936-6262. This one from Paul Teagan. On the weekend, you were looking for a nickname for Tommy, being Tommy Stevens. Mm-hmm. There has been a lot of discussion about this. And when I say a lot, probably far too much. Paul sent in Money in the Bank Tommy. That's my personal favorite. Mm-hmm. It is a little lengthy. I like short and quick syllables. So, Tommy the Tank. I like that one.
It's not bad.
Tommy the Tugboat is the one that I think Luke and Wes are leaning more towards. But you have a new suggestion.
Yeah, I just came up with it. I was trying to think. So what about Tommy Torque?
Explain.
A torque converter is part of an automatic transmission. So Tommy Stevens, when he comes onto the field, the first down is automatic. So Tommy Torque. Because you get the alliteration, you get the deeper meaning with the automatic transmission, and of course the torque converter.
Yeah, I hate that works so well. Because here's the thing. Now we have a bunch of good options because we had a bunch from Rider Nation come in as well.
Mm-hmm.
Those are just the 3 that stood out in my mind, and it's not about me. Are his teammates calling him anything?
No. Not that I've heard. Does Tommy get a stay in this? Like, I'll ask him at camp tomorrow if we want.
I wouldn't mind that. You can give him some of our top options. I can send you with a list.
Yeah, send me with a list, and then we'll...
Okay.
Will you include Tommy Torque?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course I will.
Then I'll definitely ask him tomorrow.
Okay, why don't we devise, let's say, a top 5 that you can bring, or top 3?
No, he can't go down to 3.
Okay, we'll
At
do
least
top
5, yeah.
Okay, so if anyone has any other suggestions, I want to hear them. Text them in 306-936-6262. Can you do better than Tommy Torque, Tommy Tank, Tommy Tugboat? Those are the 3 sticking out in my mind right now. So
Torque made your top 3.
It made my top 3.
I thought you hated it.
No, I hate that I love it so much.
I appreciate that.
Don't let it get to your head, Dave.
You gotta do the tank, because I love the like the tank shot.
Right? That's fantastic. It's like Thomas the Train. We can do the choo choo.
But that's already Thomas Bertrand Houdon.
I know, that's what I mean. The other Tommy. The other.
understand.
It's nice if we can have a sound effect. I know it's not all about us, but it's better. See, Tommy the Tank, because he rolls over the other guy.
He rolls over the other guys.
Yeah.
I think it's just because it's automatic, because he's well over 97%, 98% in his career.
Yeah.
If I'm operating during the game, if it's 3rd and 1 and we get it, I'll just, as soon as you say it's good, I'll just. So why not?
I mean, he is pretty clutch, so let us know what you think. 306-936-6262, Prairie Land Rentals text line. And yeah, I mean, if you want to be a hater as well, just like Jeffrey, you can text in the bad nicknames too. We just won't bring them to Tommy. On the YouTube feed, you can always join in the conversation as well. But your training camp report for Red Zone Sports Bar, we are going to take a quick break. We'll be back on the other side. This is the Sports Cage on 620 CKRM and streaming at sportscage.com. Appreciate you taking the time. Monday installment of the Sports Cage is brought to you by Smokin' Diesel. I'm Tegan Whitco, joined by voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, Dave Thomas. And of course, Curtis Gammon is hanging out with us. And we are talking all things Riders today, but we also need to balance it out with a little hockey and a little baseball here.
Okay.
Stanley Cup playoffs. I know that there was, you were looking back on this day in hockey history and something stood out to you.
1995 on this day, the Quebec Nordiques were sold to a businessman who moved them to Denver, Colorado, and became the Colorado Avalanche.
31 years ago today.
Yeah.
Wow.
You almost wonder what might have happened.
What could have been?
Yeah.
We're going to play the woulda, coulda, shoulda game?
Because, right, the team went to the next level when they went to Colorado, and I don't think it's because they physically moved. I more so believe it's because of the fact that the Eric Lindros trade then really came into fruition, right? Like that huge deal started to set the tone, essentially, right, for the franchise.
That infamous move that he made, pulling in Eric Lindros.
Pretty much, right?
Well, and I mean, Curtis brought up a good point earlier. Technically, we could see the Habs and Nordiques-esque Stanley Cup final. I don't see it happening at this point.
No.
Down 3-0 in the series.
If you'd asked me after the first period last night, I would have said, oh, there's a shot.
Wasn't it amazing how quickly that turned around? Vegas just came out guns a-blazing. Yeah. In that second period. I want to know what was said in that locker room.
I don't know. Like, again, it seemed like it was pretty calm, cool, and collected. Like, I think I wonder if the Colorado Avalanche don't have this sounds terrible, a case of the yips. You know what I mean? Like, they were up 3-0. A goal was disallowed from Vegas. They've got all the momentum, everything on their side, and then they just blow it.
Yeah.
And
it was kind of fun to watch. And you got to give credit where it's due to Carter Hart, because he was absolutely solid.
Mm-hmm.
In net.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If you're watching the stream here, you can see
the disallowed goal, right? And again, I think that whether you believe that was a goal or not is a matter of your perspective in the series, because
does it touch his glove? I think is the big question. When you watch it on TV, it doesn't look like it to me.
Yeah.
However, the officials on the ice have a much better view than you and I at home.
And again, the call on the ice was no goal, so you have to find conclusive evidence to overturn that. And the one thing that I thought that was interesting was, so it was Dorofeyev that got his hand and or glove and or stick on the puck.
Right.
But did you see the shot that he took from Brett Burns at the end of it. Like, you wonder how hockey players survive whiplash. Like, he is going in hard, and then he throws out his right arm to catch himself. He takes the net off with him, but he uses it to stabilize. I was just shocked. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, we always talk about how football is a violent sport, but so is hockey.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, right?
It can get pretty nasty there. I mean, and again, the Avs, they're down 3-0. Very rare to come back and win a series at that point. I kind of want to see it go deeper.
Yeah.
But I don't think it will. I think that it might be over pretty quickly here. And also, when we look at the Avalanche, how healthy is Nathan MacKinnon going to be? Because he took that slap shot right to the side of the knee where you have very little padding, and he went down. He hit the ice like a ton of bricks. That looked so painful. He leaves. He goes to the dressing room for a little while in the second period there. Comes out in the third. But he was not playing lengthy shifts, and he looked like he was laboring.
Well, if you've ever tried to play, like, it was lower than a Charlie horse, right? So Charlie horses is that the right term? Charlie horses?
On the side of the Charlie horse. Singular, I think.
But you don't make, if you've had multiple, but again, anyways, I digress. But it's around the hip, right? So it's way higher than where he took it. But if you've tried to play with a contusion or whatever, it's really, really hard with gaining stability on that joint, and that's looked like where it was. And like Cale Makar, like, he's not 100% either.
No, first came back last night.
That's
the thing with an unhealthy MacKinnon and an iffy Makar. Where do they sit right now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a little bit nervous about that aspect, even if they weren't down 3-0 in the series, because MacKinnon is a tough guy.
I'm not saying he's not at all, right? And he's a winner. He knows what to do and how to get there, but it's like that one looked bad and concerning to me, right?
Yeah, that one was a bit rough. But last night was last night. Now we get to see the Habs back in action. I'm pretty excited about this one. Best of 5 now as they take on the Carolina Hurricanes. The only thing that I'm a little nervous about for Habs fans is the fact that they haven't had the best record at home in the postseason.
Isn't that incredible with that atmosphere?
At the Bell Center. Is it too much pressure?
Yeah. I would say, I think
they're a young team.
Absolutely. You just nailed it. That's what it is. So much pressure in Montreal.
Well, it's a Canadian market with a dense population, a lot like Toronto.
Yeah.
I hope that they can pull it off, but it could go 1-1-1-1. Like, it's probably going to go 7 games. I would put my money on 7.
I don't know that it'll go 7.
You don't think so?
I really don't. I know there's a lot of people that are frustrated with Montreal. I'm like, you lost game 2 in overtime. Like, and I don't think that Dobish was very good in game 2, in my humble opinion. And again, he's been sensational in the playoffs, and he usually doesn't go back to back with bad games. So
yeah, usually he gets that wake up call.
Yeah, I could see things going Montreal's way at home. I thought that last series though too. So that's why you never listen to me, ever.
Yeah, I am excited to see what they can do, but Carolina looked like they woke up too. I mean, their defensive structure looked a lot better in my opinion.
Yes.
In that last game. So I'm curious to see what is going to happen, but I still think Montreal takes it. I think we might have to do that for our sprinkle of the day.
The one thing that, again, Carolina had such a long layoff between game 4 of their series win over Philadelphia and game 1 of this one. Are their legs now underneath them?
But you can also have the same argument for the Montreal Canadiens, who went to 2 Game 7s.
That their legs will not be underneath them?
That they're going to be tired.
They're going to be tired.
Like the opposite end of it, right?
That makes sense, yeah.
So one team had too much rest, one team maybe didn't have enough rest.
Yeah.
It could go either way at this point.
No, you're right. And what is more advantageous to keep playing? Like, apparently Carolina's approach was that they'd practice one day, then practice hard the next, then like standard practice, then a hard practice was the way that they apparently did it. So whether that was right or not, Rod Brindamore is going to tell us soon.
Well, we do have to take a quick break here. We'll get to Jays a little bit later on. And your sports ticker is going to be coming up next. This is the Sports Cage on 620 CKRM and streaming at sportscage.com.
It's time for the Sports Ticker. Brought to you by Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. Rent a water heater and water softener starting at about $1.20 a day and get $400 when you switch to Reliance Heath.
Saskatchewan Roughriders have signed American receiver Javian Hester and American defensive back Stephen Weston Jr. They did also release offensive lineman Darian Washington after he looked like he got a little nicked up during that preseason game in Saskatoon. If you want to find out more about the recent signings, head to sportscage.com. NHL, we were just talking about it. The Canes have 6 o'clock tonight, now a best of 5 that the series is tied at a game apiece. Memorial Cup, you got Everett taking on Kitchener at 7 o'clock local time. Major League Baseball, Toronto Blue Jays, who have a few more injured players. They're taking on the Miami Marlins just after 5 this afternoon. Andy Savage will be on the bump for the Jays. SportsCage.com poll. We have a new one here, and I'm trying to remember what it is. SportsCage.com poll. Okay, do you think that youth sports should change their field dimensions to mirror the CFL in 2027? Let us know. Go vote at SportsCage.com. That is a look at your sports ticker on 620 CKRM and SportsCage.com. Well, thanks for coming along for the ride. My name is Tegan Whitco, joined by Dave Thomas, voice of your Saskatchewan Roughriders, and of course, Curtis Gammon keeping us on the air at 620 CKRM and on the stream as well, sportscage.com. You can also watch on YouTube, X, join in the conversation there, or text us. Prairieland Rentals text line at 306-936-6262. And Dave has already committed to it live on air, so he's going to go ask Tommy Stevens what he wants his nickname to be at practice this week. So if you have suggestions, get them into us. There's a bunch that are coming in now. I promise I will get back to all of you and let you know it's on the list.
How are we going to vet these?
Well, we can do an internal vote.
I think it maybe should be like American Idol. We'll break it down into a bracket, and then on Friday I'll pick the best, or the top vote getters will go.
I'm not opposed to that.
We'll check it with Barney.
Yeah, decided by the people.
That's right.
I like that.
People's champion.
Let's touch base with Barney on that one, and maybe we'll ride this out a little bit longer and see if we don't miss any hidden gems, you know, because it's important that we get the best of the best ideas. Again, Prairieland Rentals text line, small power tools to skid steers. They probably have what you need. Deal directly with the owner at 600 Albert Street, 306-936-6262. But now we're going to jump out on the old Western Pizza guest hotline. She is the general manager of the 10-time Western Women's Canadian Football League champions, Saskatoon Valkyries. She is also the co-founder of the team. They played Regina yesterday at Saskatoon Minor Football Field, and she's here to talk about a number of things, including that game, and we want to ask her about the upcoming induction of the 2011 to 2014 Valkyries team that are going into the Saskatchewan Sports Hall of Fame this fall. Welcome, Michelle Duchene. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here.
Well, you've had a busy weekend of football. I know you certainly watched that preseason game that was taking place in Saskatoon. But the Valkyries with another big win against the Regina Riot yesterday, 30-7. And did I read this right? There was 5 interceptions?
Correct. Yes, we had a lot of interceptions. Their defense, as usual, played amazing. The defense is just so strong, and they keep us in games and, keep us humble, though.
So who were some of those players that stepped up in your mind?
Well, definitely Mackenzie Young. She had a great game. She had a couple of interceptions. And Haley Jerome was another big one. Emery Dale is always all over the field making plays. Everybody, it was really a team effort. Everybody gets put into the right places. Coaches are making sure to coach them so that they're going to be there. And so those are kind of the two or three of the big names that kind of stick out. But, as a team sport, it takes everybody to do their job in order for the other ones to stick out, right? So, yeah.
Here's the best question for you. Is this team better than last year's team?
I would say that we are definitely, every week we're getting better and better. And I feel like definitely by the end of the year, we're going to be stronger than we were last year.
So where is the ceiling then for this group? Because it looks like such an athletic bunch, Michelle, from the outside looking in.
There is. Is there a ceiling?
True.
We did have some surprises of some returnees that we weren't expecting, and obviously they're girls that have played a lot of football over the years, and they've coached football now. And so, I think that's part of it, is that when you start to learn the other side of the game, then you learn even more about the sport than when you're just an athlete from it, right? So, so we just, I don't know, the more that you keep playing, the better you get, right? So, yeah.
You truly have built something special there with the rest of your team and the Saskatoon Valkyries. I just found it pretty cool that there was so many comparisons that you could draw between the Saskatchewan Roughriders preseason game against their rival Bombers, winning as the home team in the Bridge City, and then your club comes out and manages to do the same thing over the Regina Riot. What does that say about the growth of, interest in football in Saskatoon?
Well, I think if you attended the game, you would see that there's definitely a huge interest in the game. The game I'm talking about. People were so excited to have that game back in Saskatoon after 35 years or something like that. It was so exciting. Like everybody was pumped and super excited. And then I found that the next day we went to our game, it definitely trickled into that aspect of our game. Just the fans just seemed really excited. And our game day coordinator did a really good job. We brought in puppies so that people that need to be adopted. And we had all sorts of booths, and it just kind of kept the momentum going and just made it all exciting. So it really was when we heard that this game was happening, we were very excited. It worked out that our team was getting to host Regina that weekend too. So, wanting to be a part of it all. And it really made it for a really exciting weekend of football in Saskatoon.
The growth of women's football, I don't know what adjective is proper, whether it's outstanding, whether it's surprising, whether it's what we thought it would be, or whether it's more education with more athletes coming to play. You've been on the ground floor and the foundation builder of the Saskatoon Valkyries program. Can you tell me about the recruitment of players and how athletes are finding the game of football?
Well, right now there's a huge, push for flag football with that being part of the Olympics in 2028. And so if you go on social media, there's so much information about it. NCAA is looking to sanction the sport. Saskatchewan High School Athletic Association is also looking at doing it. It's just everywhere right now. And so that's a part of it. But then in terms of the tackle side, a lot of it is just word of mouth and creating opportunities for girls to actually come and try it. And usually once they try it, they, if they're willing to try it, they're willing to step up and play the game. And one of the cool stories that we have too is we have a mom whose son started playing football at high school level, and she kind of wanted to see what that was like. So she signed up, and she's playing on the team this year too, So, and then I think too, just, the Riders doing so well, it's always excitement in the whole province. And so, that also brings out more women and girls to play as well as boys too. We definitely see a rise in registrations when the Riders do well. So, yeah.
So, Michelle Duchene, I have two important recruiting questions for you. The first one, though, is when someone like that mother maybe approaches you and says, "What am I in for?" What do you tell them about the Western Women's Canadian Football League?
Well, I usually talk about being an elite program, and so we really try to treat our athletes like elite athletes. And, that comes with expectations too, right? That there's film time and meetings, and there's an expectation to be in a workout program throughout the whole year, right? So, and lots of learning and, chalk talk and new things like that. But also that you get a whole new group of friends and a whole sisterhood of people that, you're going to be connected to for the rest of your life.
Well, as we're seeing on the screen, a pretty nice touchdown reception from the other day. But if my sources aren't incorrect, Michelle, when it comes back to recruiting, you also signed up your daughter. So my question with the recruiting was, did you go knock on her bedroom door? Did your husband Eric text her or something? How did the contract negotiations go?
Well, I wasn't sure. She came from volleyball, so volleyball, basketball, flag football. So she decided she wanted to sign up last year, and she absolutely loved it. And it's super fun to have her on the sideline. And but yeah, she played flag her whole life, right? And so and that's obviously a big recruiting tool for the Valkyries. I would say the majority of our team now had played flag football at some point. And so we have a lot of Valkyries players who coach flag, and then myself included. So we're always out there trying to get them to come out, and they already have a lot of the skills that they need, right? So they already know how to run routes and catch balls and, make big defensive plays and, so all those sorts of things. So it's definitely easier for them to come out than when we first started, when girls didn't have any experience in football, right? So we're just recruiting athletes that played other sports instead of actual football, but we're still happy to have all the sports, all the athletes come.
Noticed you really skirted the whole contract negotiation, so I'll just leave that there. But hey, if there's anything we have seen, Tom Brady proved it. They're two very different games, flag football to tackle football. Do the skills from one to the other translate easily or no?
I find depends on the position, right? So I think for receivers and DBs, 100%, right? Quarterbacks too, right? But I mean, obviously on the line, it's very, very different. And even for linebackers, it would be a different sport for sure. But for those other ones, yeah, like if you know how to catch a ball, like I said, or you know how to run a route, then that's half the battle. But then on the other hand, like Jada will say to me, like I've never blocked before. So, this is a whole new thing. I have to learn how to block and how to position my body to do it and, those sorts of things. So definitely those flag players come in with a lot of skills, but not all the skills. But that's part of what makes it fun, right? Is that you get to learn new skills too. So, yeah.
Saskatchewan has always been such a football-crazed province, Michelle, but the Saskatoon Valkyries haven't always been around. And this year, 2026, I know it was announced a little while back, but in 2026, the team from 2011 to 2014 will be inducted into the Sask Sport Hall of Fame. That's got to feel pretty good to hear out loud. What was your initial reaction?
Well, honestly, the director took me out for lunch and she told me, and she got teary. I got teary. The two strangers sitting across the table with like happy tears coming down their faces. So yeah, we were pretty excited. It's a very big moment. Something you always kind of dream about is, to get named to the Hall of Fame. But the thing I'm mostly looking forward to is there are a number of alumni that are coming back from all over the place, and I'm really excited to see them. And everybody is excited to be able to spend some time together and really reminisce. And I know I was part of one of the Hilltop teams that was inducted, and I always say it was one of the most fun nights of my life was just going through the whole induction process but mostly just kind of reminiscing with everybody. And I think we were up pretty late that night enjoying each other's company. And so I'm expecting it to be the same for September 26th, that's for sure.
I am beyond shocked that it was a late night.
I mean, you got to celebrate, right?
You got to celebrate, right? Life's short, so you got to do all the celebrating you can.
So I am curious, for those who aren't familiar with the story of the Saskatoon Valkyries, I know you were a big part in bringing this. You were a flagship team in the WWCFL. How did it come together? How did this team it didn't just come out of thin air? I'm sure there was a lot of hard work and a lot of people involved.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we held a women's national tryout. There was teams in in Manitoba and in Alberta, and there were some out east. And so they wanted to do a tryout, and they thought, well, the most fair thing was to have it in Saskatchewan. And I just happened to be in the Football Sask office when they called, and they asked if I would be the trainer, because I come from a trainer background, if I would be the trainer for this camp. And I said, sure. And then in the end, long story short, their trainer that was supposed to go to Worlds with them wasn't able to go. So they asked me to go. And the whole time I was there, the girls from Alberta and Manitoba were like, you got to start a team in Saskatchewan so we have a connecting team, And so Jesse was also on that team, Jesse Bidens. And so we came back to Saskatoon and right away went and talked to Football Saskatchewan and Saskatoon Minor Football and said, what do you guys think? Like, would you support this? And they were 100% behind us. And so then we got a group of women together and had a meeting. There was 13 of us, I think, the first meeting. And we thought, let's just have a camp and see what happens. And I think we had 50 some ladies that attended the camp and did a chalk talk and got out on the field. And it was amazing. And so we knew right there and then, like, we could do this. And so then we had to develop the league as well. It wasn't even just our team, because the league didn't technically exist. They were just playing like exhibition games against each other, really. And so so it was a lot of work. There was lots of time, like everything had to start from scratch, right? But just the support we got from Football Saskatchewan, it was absolutely incredible. Like anything that we needed or wanted, like they were right there to help us and guide us. And, we wanted to create a model. And so, we really looked at the Hilltops and the Huskies models and really tried to emulate that with what we were doing. And we still do that to this day. They have so much success. And so it's hard not to do that. And, so many people part of those programs. And, right away people jumped on board, like the guys that ran the clock and, that did stats, like all those guys were like, yeah, we'll come, and some of those guys are still here, like from 2011. And it's so incredible. It just makes my heart so happy. Yeah.
Has it turned into what you thought it would be?
It's more than what I thought it would be. Like you just didn't know, like obviously sometimes, I think like restaurants in Saskatoon, right? A new restaurant opens up and everybody wants to go, but then after a while it kind of like dies down. And so I wasn't sure if it would keep going, but it is. And it's awesome. Like our numbers really, sometimes some years we have to recruit a little harder than others, but our numbers have stayed fairly consistent over the years, and, very lucky. And I think it has a lot to do too, because I started the flag league for the high school girls flag league to kind of be that connector. And that's tremendous for us to have that league and introduce the girls to football. So, yeah.
It's grown a lot. And like you said right off the front here, Michelle, is there even a ceiling?
There isn't. We're just going to keep going.
Last question I'm going to ask you here, because I know you are extremely busy and we have taken up far too much of your time, but I just want you to sell us on this. If you're someone who's never watched women's elite tackle football before, I know there's only one regular season game. The season is short and that's all that we have left until playoffs, but why should we come watch?
Well, it's exciting. It's, one of the things that people are always surprised about, because they think girls playing football, they're always surprised at like how physical it actually is. And that it's like, they're like, this is just like the boys football. And I was like, it absolutely is. I don't know why you would think it'd be anything different. Right. So, it's like, they make hard tackles. There's hard hits. They're running fast routes. They're making big plays. Quarterbacks are getting stronger and stronger and more accurate. So those big passes are happening. And our running backs they run fast. They run hard. It's just like you get the full game experience. And so, I just encourage everybody to come out and try it and see how awesome it is.
One heck of a season so far for the Saskatoon Valkyries already. One regular season game to go, as I mentioned. So best of luck in that final regular season game, and we'll have to do this again soon, Michelle.
Thank you very much.
Oh, and congratulations on the Sask Hall of Fame induction, by the way.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, it'll be fun.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Saskatoon Valkyries GM, Michelle Duchene. Wonderful human being. She was joining us on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. Perfect pizza, generous amount of toppings, and all the Greek favorites you love. Still plenty on the horizon here. We do have Darian Durant coming up after 5 o'clock. We'll talk about some preseason football action. We didn't even have him on last week because the Monday was a stat holiday. So we have 2 weeks worth of stuff to ask Darian. Plenty to talk about. Gary Brotzel is going to be joining us for our first training camp. Red Sox training camp report of the season. Report of the season. Yep. We do have a rider report still coming up, brought to you by the training camp report for Red Zone Sports Bar, and then Clutch Performer coming up here in just a bit as well. This is the Monday Sports Cage for Smokem Diesel, genuine OEM replacement diesel parts. They do not sell junk. Smokem Diesel, direct shipping diesel parts to you. We'll be back. It's the Sports Cage on the home of local sports, 620 CKRM, and streaming at sportscage.com.
The Sports Cage Clutch Performer for Keln Solar. Thinking about saving money by using solar power? Keln Solar is a local family company that can put solar panels on your home, business, or farm. KelnSolar.com.
You got Tegan Whitco, Dave Thomas, Curtis Gammon with you, Clutch Performer for Keln Solar. I think we have to start with the obvious one. This is a quick one. Every single person who was involved or touched that preseason game up in Saskatoon this past weekend, that atmosphere was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was not at all what I expected for a youth sports facility, but I know when I was talking to, Karina and Rebecca from the Riders, and they just the scope of everything they had to do to bring in the PA system, bring in that Jumbotron, the digital screen. Incredible.
The disservice that was done by me was saying standing room all over and over again, knowing full well that there's berms and places to sit, and those look like the most comfortable spots on Saturday afternoon, like sitting in the sun, just relaxing. Why not?
Yeah, it was a fantastic event.
The only problem was the wind from the west, blowing in that food truck smell into the broadcast booth. That was tough.
I did notice that as soon as I arrived there after the pregame show, and it just instantly made my tummy growl.
And when you could smell the mesquite barbecue floating through the air.
Okay, stop. It's already 4:30. I'm going to get hungry soon.
True.
Okay, so clutch. Everyone who was involved with the Rider preseason game up in Saskatoon, because it was such a well put together event and something they've never done before. So that was really cool. I have a few others. I'll do one and then I'll toss it over to you, Dave. This next one, it's a little rough, right? Because Kyle Busch passed away unexpectedly last week at the age of 41. Devastating. At the 2026 Coca-Cola 600, there was a lot of tributes, and there were at other events throughout the weekend, of course. In fact, the first NASCAR Cup Series without Earnhardt or Busch since, I think they said like 1980 or something like that. It's been a long, long time. So Rowdy was receiving all of these tributes in a lot of different ways. So at the Coca-Cola 600, as an example, they did the missing man formation before the race.
Yes.
They also did a moment of silence before the race, and then after, a silent lap for him as a tribute. And what I thought was really cool was what the fans did to be involved with this. So they did that silent lap, and then the fans were holding up 8. So they were holding up the number 8 as a tribute to Rowdy.
Wow.
I thought that was really cool. They also did a tribute to Kyle Busch on lap 18 of the Indy 500.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. If you're watching the stream, you can see everyone. No one's clapping. Everyone's just holding up the letter 8 for Kyle Busch. So I thought that was really, really cool.
And if you've ever been a part of something like that, I've had a chance to be a part of it at a speedway before, and it's like giving me goosebumps just sitting here now. It is absolutely just take your breath away, impactful right off the go.
Well, and it just shows the impact that he had. In the sport. Yeah. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So you got one?
Sure. Mine, I already told you, my clutch performer goes to Kevin Gausman. Not because he's having a Cy Young award-winning season, but because of the...
No, why would it be for that?
Well, he's having a pretty good year. But it's because of what he did on X. Because on X today, he put out a tweet this morning at 11:45 Eastern Time. Quote, "If the roof is closed tonight, we riot." The roof at Rogers Centre in Toronto is going to be open for the Blue Jays game tonight. Why that's impactful is this is one of the latest openings of the year they've had. They cannot risk frost and opening up the roof at the same time. And so because we've had such a tremendous spring across Canada, up until now they haven't been able to open it. So this is one of the latest openings of Rogers Centre roof. And again, if the roofs have closed tonight, we riot. Kevin Gausman is clutch coming in for Jays fans everywhere. They'll open up the dome tonight.
Well, and I would imagine they are extra cautious after pouring in how many millions of dollars worth of renovations.
True. You don't want to get the roof stuck open, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that would not be pretty. So, yeah, clutch. We'll take it.
Kevin
Gausman. Keeping on the same theme as baseball, that young Jays fan who caught Valdez's first MLB home run.
Yes.
Was against the Jays. So Valdez comes in. He was pinch hitting, wasn't he?
No.
I'm thinking of someone else. I was thinking of someone else. Yeah. So Valdez, home run, first one, and this kid catches it. You can see the dugout or the guys in the bullpen, pardon me, they're trying to communicate with this kid saying like, can we make a trade? Can we make a trade? We want that ball back. So the kid even comes down. You can see him on the phone negotiating, and they finally worked out a deal. I think he got a couple of, it looks like they were offering him a few other signed balls that were not game balls. But instead, he walked away with a signed bat.
Yeah. As
a Jays fan, though, wouldn't you want the bat anyway?
Who are you on the phone with? Was he on the phone with the Pittsburgh Pirates organization?
Maybe it was their equipment manager or something.
Or is it like his dad
his parents?
At home?
Yeah.
Right? Like you went to the ball game with your buddies. You catch this, right? So his dad takes you or whatever, and then you catch this home run ball. Now what do I do with it? And you can see the Pittsburgh Pirate relievers. What they were trying to do is like they were offering up 3 balls, an autographed bat. Like,
he was nope.
I don't know what I don't know what I'd want for that. Like you've got all the leverage in that.
Yeah. I mean, this kid is going to be working on Wall Street or something.
But you know what? Saying that, I've had people tell me like the youngster, that's not his property. It's the guy who hit the home runs property.
And I could see it from both sides. I mean, if you really want to get deep into it, you could get angry about anything, right? Oh, it's not his ball to keep. It's a kid. Give him something.
See, I'm not disputing you. I don't know. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Isn't that what they say?
Fair.
I don't know.
Should they have sold that Skeens trading card? That kid who found it?
I don't know. That's
Got to start him young. I do have one more, and this is baseball related. Here's what I was thinking about when I was a pinch hitter. Okay, this is Hernandez. Herberto Hernandez comes in as a pinch hitter, and he hits this one deep to center field for a walk-off grand slam for the Marlins. For a sweep of the Mets for the first time since 2019. Alan Lee, our own, actually sent me this one yesterday. So he sends the Mets back to Queens after a sweep. Mm-hmm. The only thing I don't like is now the Marlins might be coming in with that energy against the Jays.
True.
Because they open up that 3-game set against the Jays just after 5 o'clock today.
They do, and the Jays made some roster moves today.
Yeah, Davis Schneider, you called it.
I don't want to say I called it, but yeah, Davis Schneider's been sent to the minors as they'll bring in the injured outfielder who I'm trying to remember. Not Miles Straw, but the other one. Nathan Lucas, thank you. Nathan Lucas. So he comes up. Dylan Cease goes on the IL with the hamstring cramps or whatever he had yesterday.
Even though they said the MRI was negative right after the game.
Additional imaging may have shown more.
Fair.
And then Vladdy Guerrero Jr. isn't on the IL. He's not gonna be in the lineup tonight. He got dinged with the elbow. Apparently, when the ball hit him in the elbow, his 2 fingers went numb immediately. So, anyways,
that's not a great sign.
No, he's not in tonight. Davis Schneider sent down so Nathan Lucas can come back from the IL. So those are the moves for the Jays.
Yeah. So potentially, just this thing was we're looking up a little bit for the Jays. Then more injury woes. And the worst part was both of those, the Cease exiting the game and Vladdy getting hit by that pitch, didn't they both happen in the 5th?
Both in the 5th inning, yeah. They lost 4-1 after that.
Could have had the Pirates, but whatever. At least that kid got the ball. Or the bat. That's what
got
matters.
The bat.
He got the bat.
Got the bat. I wouldn't doubt 3 autographed baseballs at a minimum.
Yeah, probably.
I would have wanted the jersey.
A Pirates jersey?
Just give me the jersey. You take the ball, I'll take your jersey.
I just say, you know what? Give me a couple $100 credit to the Blue Jays store.
Jays had nothing to do with it. It was the Pirates.
I know. Well, they could negotiate something.
Yeah, that's right.
They could make it
work. They know people, right?
Yeah, they know people who know people.
They know people. There you go.
Those are your clutch performers. Unless you have one, Curtis? No, we're good. Okay. I think that was enough anyway. That was what, 4? Okay.
It was up there.
All right. It's brought to you by Kelton Solar. They can help you with your livestock operations. Book now for your solar quotes for your home, farm, or cabin. Save money with the local company, Kelton Solar in Lumsden. And I do also just want to mention here really quickly, Saskatchewan Roughrider 50/50. Plenty of exclusive giveaways and experiences up for grabs between sports trips and vacation destinations. New early bird prize to be won every game. And this might be a pretty large jackpot here, especially because we're going to be waiting until June 13th until the next Rider game. A variety of different ticket packages you can buy for this 50/50. Get your tickets at riders5050.ca. So this early bird prize that's up for grabs. Okay, it's a summer Rocky Mountain family getaway. It includes 3 nights at the Malcolm Hotel in Canmore, which sounds incredible, an icefield adventure, and a ride on a Banff gondola. So you get the entire experience, when you're out in the mountains there. You can also just, if you just went on a trip, maybe you don't want to take the trip, you can always just grab the money. $3,600 in cash. Now, the deadline for this is coming up just ahead of that June 13th game, as I mentioned. So it'll be Tuesday, June 9th at 10 p.m. So if you would like a chance to win, get on it. Again, riders5050.ca. Take a quick break. We'll be back with your training camp report for the Red Zone Sports Bar behind the Saskatoon Travel Lodge. It's the Sports Cage on the home of Rider Nation on 620 CKRM and streaming at sportscage.com. Monday edition of the Sports Cage, thanks to Smoke'em Diesel. If you're a fix-it-yourself type of person, Smoke'em Diesel can supply you with injectors, injection pumps, turbos, and all diesel hard parts. Smoke'em Diesel, direct shipping diesel parts to you. Join in the conversation at any point on the Prairie Line Rentals text line as well. We are looking for as many suggestions as we can get. Might even do a bracket on this for what the nickname should be for Tommy Stevens. So we got a couple of contenders. Let us know if you have one to add. 306-936-6262. You can always watch the stream as well on our YouTube channel. We are also streaming both road and home games for the Saskatchewan Roughriders this season, worth mentioning. And if you missed out on anything from any of the stories that came out today. There's plenty of information. SportsCage.com. You can sign up for the Rider All Access report as well, so you get it just directly sent to your inbox. You have all the links, all the information that you need to make sure that you are as up to date as possible. Speaking of which, another training camp report, which is brought to you by Red Zone Sports Bar behind the Travel Lodge. Come watch the game with friends, daily specials, most screens in Saskatoon. Good place to go. So, Dave, you were at training camp today. We've already talked quite a bit about the quarterbacks, and I think when Darian Durant joins us after 5, we're probably going to dive into that a little bit more. And we talked a little bit about kicking, but what do you think we should zone in on next now that we're into the final week of training camp for the Saskatchewan Roughriders?
Well, a couple of positions stood out to me in my mind today, and probably one of the most mind-boggling ones is running back.
Okay.
Because Conley did very well in the game.
0-0.
Yes, he got a lot of opportunities, right, in the game against Winnipeg. But Mario Anderson Jr. has had a terrific camp, and A.J. Ouellette isn't going anywhere.
No.
So it's very interesting what that depth might look like, who might be a practice roster piece potentially. But again, they've been working hard, and Andrew Harris has been doing a number with them, which you would understand as the running backs coach. So that one kind of jumped off a little bit to me today. I was like, I wonder what direction the team is thinking of going there. And then the offensive line, right, made a move and a roster move today. So releasing Washington, thank you. They released Washington today. Jamarcus Hardrick was not fully participating again. Again, he didn't play in the preseason at all. And Coach Mace it's nothing to worry about, and nor am I worried about it. But it's going to be interesting what's going to happen with some of those spots. Like, will Jason Williams move to the guard while Jacob Bramer moved out to the tackle in the initial reps in the football game, which I thought was kind of a interesting move. We've seen Jacob play tackle. He was predominantly left tackle when he was playing tackle with the Riders, but now he moves over to the right side and the right guard, where he kind of settled in with Furland and Hardrick, kind of, a big three, if you will. Like, who wouldn't want to run behind them? So there's decisions to be made there. And then Caleb Sanders was back on the field today at defensive line. So the defensive line battle and depth is there. Now, how it's going to work and play itself out, I have no idea.
And I'm sorry, just quickly back to the offensive line. Collins, was he in at all today?
Peyton Collins was in.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So he was getting some reps there. Yeah, he had a great season last year. So I'm excited to see, what this season could have in store for him.
Yeah, he looked like he might have got nicked up a little bit in the game against Winnipeg, but...
Yeah, and
again,
he did battle that last year, right?
I don't think that I don't necessarily believe that he was intended to be in for much longer than he was. Not saying that he was taken out early at all either, just watching some of his mannerisms on the sidelines.
Well, that's fair. Couple of positions to watch as we wind down closer and closer to that bye week, which is quite odd. But now they're back at Mosaic Stadium. Different facility. They've been up in Saskatoon for training camp, Griffith Stadium for the past 2 weeks.
2 and a bit.
Two and a bit. So now they get 1 full week at the facility here in the Queen City. But I do know that there was a conversation that you had with one Malik Straker. What did you learn from that?
Well, you know what, Malik, again, he has started to lay and stake his claim for being a very productive player on the Saskatchewan Roughriders roster. And I wanted to find out from him where he's at and how he anticipates taking it up to the next level.
Malik Straker, first and foremost, happy belated birthday. How do you celebrate a birthday during training camp?
Just studying, talking to my family on the phone, and just being around the guys is just the best way to celebrate it.
You were up at the cafeterias in Saskatoon. Did they make you a dessert or anything?
No, but this food is exceptional. So, I'm all good with what they provide.
Okay, what would I have gotten or should I have gotten you for your birthday? Because you came up with a big hit a couple of days after.
Honestly, just being here, being around the guys, being around the team, being around the people that I care about, and bleeding green every day is what, at the end of the day, ultimately is what people can give. That's it, man. I can't ask for any more than this.
You've given a lot in your short time here with the Riders, with your body, with being willing to do whatever has been asked of you. What is being asked of you going into the 2026 season?
Be exactly who I expect to be. Tenacious, all around, the utility, smart, cerebral, and ready. Like Shakespeare says, the readiness is all, and that's what's being asked of me. Be prepared as you can be, 24/7.
So can you tell me if that changes your approach, that you can be prepared, if you understand what I'm meaning, right? You've been here, again, it seems to me a very short stay so far, but again, you're a veteran. Do you change?
The thing about it is there's small nuanced changes, but at the same time, the conduit between all of them is your discipline. It has to be at the forefront of everything that you do. So that doesn't change. The conduit of all of that has to remain the same. And that's how you continuously grow and stay on an elevation of constantly becoming better every day.
This may be a redundant question, and I apologize, but when you're talking discipline, do you mean physical discipline or mental discipline, all of the above?
Okay, so from a discipline standpoint, I categorize it into 3 ways. I tend to have mental, physical, and emotional, right? So you have to have a sort of toughness in all those categories and, hone in on every single category. We play football, so of course you got to be physically tough. You have to be mentally tough and mentally resilient to be on the field every single day and go through the ebbs and flows of a football game. And then the emotional resilience is another portion of it that I think a lot of people overlook, but there's a lot of things that go on to it, and you have to make sure that you're staying even killed with all of it. So I think discipline from the standpoint of emotional, physical, and mental.
As we enter the final week of training camp, obviously it's been a grind on your body. You put in so many hours, so many different workouts, not to mention 2 games squeezed into 5 days. Considering all that, how do you approach this final week so that you're ready when the regular season starts almost 3 weeks from now?
Decompression is really important. So when you're not on the field, it's the things that you're doing outside of this. So, we probably practice for about 3.5 hours, right? And right after that, the recovery starts immediately up until the next practice or the next, physical activity that you have to do. But the preparation is in all the things that you do outside of, right? Also, a little bit including you stay hydrated while you're in practice, so that after practice you're a little bit more hydrated, and then throughout the day, you're stretching, you're rehydrating, getting yourself, building resilience, like going into the weight room right after this, and those parts. So it's honing in on all of those small disciplines again that you have to continuously stay consistent with.
So, and again, under the heading of maybe redundant, then do you feel ready to start the regular season right now?
Always ready.
That's all I needed to hear, and I'm sure Rider Nation is cheering you on. Again, belated happy birthday greetings, and thanks for doing this.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, Malik Straker with your very own voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, Mr. Dave Thomas, who is here with me now. I'm Tegan Whitco, and Curtis is keeping us on the air and on the stream. We did get a text in here, 306-936-6262, Prairie Land Rentals text line. Any chance an American DB for the Riders will be replaced by Game 1? No name on this text message. Oh, Daryl in Regina.
Okay, sorry, explain. Like an incumbent, like a veteran DB would be replaced?
That's what I'm assuming.
Ooh, that would be very hard.
I don't know how you do that.
You look at the reps that were handed out, right? And they were pretty much even for the projected starters, right? If you go from basically weak to strong side, right? You'd be looking at Sales, Milligan Jr., Lacombo, Fields, and Campbell, right?
Yeah.
That's a pretty solid 5, and they all got equal reps, right? So read into that whatever you want. There are some American defensive backs, Juju Hughes, who I thought had a great camp, Benny Sapp III, who I erroneously gave an interception to instead of Vi Jones. I honestly couldn't believe it was a linebacker that dropped back. That's what threw me off completely, not to make excuses. But then I'm like, oh, that is Vi Jones. But again, Benny Sapp III, he's been here a while. And he had that huge hit, if you recall, right?
Right at the end of the second quarter, right?
So, again, Benny Sapp III isn't a newcomer, so you would think that he may hold on to his job or whatever. But I guess to answer the question as bestly as I can, Daryl.
That's a word.
Yeah, I'm making up English as we speak. I think that no matter what way the Riders go, it's going to be a very, very solid defensive backfield. If there's any movement with the starters, I'm not so sure of that, but I will say that there is a lot of depth and some decisions that are going to have to be made.
There's a lot of depth in quite a few spots here, right? And there's a lot of guys battling for those very few and far between positions. I'm curious what you were able to see from Johnny Johnson III, because he also had a pretty decent game up in Saskatoon this weekend.
He arrived late, right? He didn't get here until last week.
Yeah, he was here maybe 4 or 5 days.
It wasn't. I don't know if it was that long. It was after the Calgary game.
Yeah.
And sorry, the days kind of blend together. if you're breaking it down by meal, I could have got that. But no, he's got
bowls
speed.
Of soup.
Yeah, bowls of soup. That's a meal in some people's. But he's learning the playbook. He seems confident in it. He's been fast when he's on the field, and he has the ability to make the catch. You know what I mean? Like if it's a one-on-one contested situation, he's done well. Today, for folks that weren't at Mosaic Stadium, today's best pass and catch was Tommy Stevens to Del Duncan Busby on a big touchdown play that got everybody roaring on the offensive side. So that was pretty cool.
Saturday's game, we did not see Letcher Jr. returning. Instead, Matthew Sexton was back there. So what do you see in him this week at training camp? I mean, even just today, was he getting a lot of reps?
Running with the third team predominantly.
Okay.
So he's about where he was last week as far as that depth chart goes. But again, the more you can do, and we know that James Letcher Jr., who made a terrific reception today, a terrific catch from Trevor Harris.
Not surprised.
No. But we know that we know what he can do, right?
Yeah.
And the more that you can do, the more valuable you can become. So Matthew Sexton is one of the receivers that has kind of stood out in being able to return the football. Daniel Wiebe has been given a lot of opportunities in that aspect to return footballs, right? And Daniel Wiebe isn't getting as many reps before, but they've been running all the receivers through. Johnny Johnson Jr. absolutely has been given opportunities, but Matthew Sexton predominantly has probably been, I would suggest, the player that the Riders are most impressed with when it comes to the receiving group that have the ability to return kicks.
Well, high pressure situation for quite a few guys at Rough Rider training camp as it winds down and wraps up. Final cuts on Friday?
Final workout on Friday. The rest of the league plays preseason games on Friday, and then the roster moves will come on Saturday. Likely.
Such a weird schedule. Such a weird schedule for the Riders, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll just have to wait a little bit longer. Good things come to those who wait, as they say.
We're so impatient.
I know.
I couldn't stop staring where that banner is going to go up at Mosaic Stadium today. It was the first substantial time I've spent in Mosaic in a while, and I'm like, that's going to look cool.
Yeah, June 13th, banner unveil.
I didn't look to see. I probably could have looked to see. I'm sure tickets have gone quick thanks to those watermelon packs, right? Where you get the home opener ticket and the Labor Day ticket.
Yeah, those are going to go fast.
So, again, I would just check it out on riderville.com before waiting too long.
Yeah, you might need to do that. We should probably take a quick break, though, or are we just going to go out on the Western Pizza Guest hotline pretty quickly here? Okay, we're going to do that in just a minute because we got to catch up with our boy Crofty. We didn't see him last week. Real quick, though, I should mention Harvard Media Auction wraps up tomorrow. So 6 o'clock, that's when everything begins to sell off. You can go make an account real quick. I bring this up because it's 30-degree weather this week. 30-degree weather after, as you mentioned, just a few weeks ago, we had snow.
Mm-hmm.
My AC is going to be kicking in this week, and I'm really hoping it works.
Roll of the dice, huh?
I'm nervous. I'm a little nervous about that. But yeah, beautiful weather means typically golf season, right? So Deer Valley Golf Club has a couple of great packages up there. Twilight membership. There's also an 8 twosome game pack, and it comes with all the bells and whistles that you need. So if you wanted to go place a bid on that, you're going to pay less than face value. If you're going to go out to Deer Valley anyway, you might as well. It just makes a whole bunch of sense. So harvardmediaauctions.com, and make sure that you get yourself all ready to go there. Set your high bid, set your proxies, good to go. And also make sure that you keep sending in those Tommy Stevens suggestions when it comes to names. Prairie Line Rentals text line 306-936-6262. Yeah, it's T-Money, Tommy Hawk, Tommy the Tank, Tommy Thunder, First Down Tommy. We're getting a lot in here.
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out what the most democratic process is to do that. That doesn't involve closing the Strait of Hormuz.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like a you problem.
Yeah,
sounds like something you can figure out. Or here's the best part. We can just, when Barney gets in tomorrow, we can just say, hey, we have all of these suggestions. What do you want to do? You figure it out.
Barney, you go.
Yeah, you got this, Barney. You're good.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, Western
Sorry,
Pizza. I'm just delegating. It's delegating. Okay, jumping out on the Western Pizza Guest hotline now with our next guest. Same time every week. We love when he's part of the show. Dan Croft of Crofty Electric. Crofty, I know you were watching that Indy 500 this weekend. That was a close finish.
That was. I caught the end of it. I was working in the yard most of the weekend trying to take advantage of this beautiful weather we finally have.
Yeah. Finally. Yeah, I think I was reading it was like over 100-year history. That was the closest finish at like 0.23 seconds or something crazy.
Excuse me.
I didn't think it was anything to cough about or sneeze about, actually. I thought it was very close myself.
Yeah, excuse me. Oh, I lost my voice all of a sudden.
Oh, geez.
I'm so nervous talking to Dave again, finally.
I know, it's been a minute. Yeah. You guys are still on nickname basis or first and last name?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We got to come together and have a hug after last week.
Yeah, I would agree with that for sure. Crofty, I'm just curious. Obviously, with the heat coming, Tegan's worried about her air conditioning. For folks that don't have, there's a process to it. Is it a difficult process if I need to go ahead and figure out how I'm actually going to power this thing?
No. No, we do it all the time. Some of that kind of stuff we can almost do over the phone and with a couple quick pictures just to make sure your service looks good. But again, the best way to do this is be a preferred customer, and we'll already know if your service is big enough and already know all those things, so we can get you priority booked in and give you those labor and material discounts. So that is definitely the easiest and best way to get ahead of this weather and get ahead of this summer. Like, we went right from like snow 2 weeks ago to what's like my dash is plus 30 right now. Like, it's crazy.
Wow. Yep.
Jeez. Preferred customer program. You got your Tip Tuesdays. What do you want to talk about today here, Crofty? Preferred customers?
Yeah, I think this. We got some spaces open to come out and do that 24-point inspection. But the real advantage of the preferred customer is exactly like Dave hinted at. It's letting us get to know your service, whether that's your home service, whether that's your farm service, whether that's your commercial service, so that when you want to add that air conditioner, hot tub, EV charger, whatever it is, we already know your electrical system, and we can A, tell you yay or nay really quickly, or B, tell you how to get you to that ampacity or voltage that you need, so that we can make sure you get whatever it is hooked up in your home, business, or farm.
And Croft Electric has a philosophy of do it right, do it once. If you need any electrical work, as he mentioned, at the farm, cabin, residential, commercial, you got one place to go for all of it. And how do we get in touch with you, Crofty?
Well, follow us on all the socials for those Tip Tuesdays, like you were saying. Check us out on the web, www.croftelectric.com. But the quickest and best and easiest way is to give us a call on 306-586-1333, and Amy will get you all set up with anything, a call, a preferred service program, or whatever you need.
Quick question for you. It was posed to me. It is seeding season right now, and I know that the producers, the last thing they want to worry about are their service. And if they're moving the hopper bins around or something and they want to get the electrical service, make sure it's there. You can help with that, right? You know what has to happen in those instances, right?
For sure. It's funny you say that. I'm literally sitting on the side of a grid road watching a cedar go back and forth. Yeah, give us a call. While you're sitting in the cedar listening to this, start thinking about those overhead lines in your yard, and we can come out and make a plan to bury them for you. Also work with Sask Power on your behalf to if it's a high voltage line in that part, get their stuff buried. And then the other one is a lot of farmers are thinking about is those grain dryers. If you're thinking about adding a grain dryer to your operation, get a hold of us now. We can get the ball rolling on upsizing your service or whatever is needed to do that. Take that off your plate while you're busy doing your farming. Let us do the electrical, and it really saves. I heard we had one farm customer tell us that it basically saved him a combine and an operator all fall having a grain dryer. So, get a hold of us. We can make it happen and be ready for that fall harvest.
Dan Croft from Croft Electric, trespassing and watching other people work. Every Monday on the Sports Cage.
Just the way we like it. Thank you so much, Crofty. Croft Electric, thank you so much for taking the time on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. We'll take a quick break, come back with the ticker, and then it's your news. It's the Sports Cage on 620 CKRM. The Monday installment of the Sports Cage for Smokem Diesel, European diesels, pickups, tractors, and semis. They have your hard parts. For all your diesel parts and repair needs, contact Smokem Diesel. I'm Tegan Whitco. I'm here with voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, Mr. Dave Thomas, and of course, Curtis Gammon, helping us out, keeping us on the air. 620 CKRM on the stream as well, which is where you can join in the conversation on YouTube. You can also find the stream on X and sportscage.com. You can also text us See, there's so many ways to get in touch. You might as well just talk with us. That's what we're here for. 306-936-6262. Prairie Land Rentals text line. Sorry, Dave, you were going to say something?
No, I was shaking my head in agreement.
Oh, okay.
Nobody can see that on the radio,
often,
though.
Okay.
No, that's right.
Well, we are going to head out on the Western Pizza guest hotline here in a sec. A guest that we actually haven't spoke to in 2 weeks because it was a May-long weekend last Monday. And unfortunately, it appears this is Memorial Day in the States. So we're taking precious time out of his day off, as we just learned. But still, it's Double Talk with Darian Durant.
It's time for Double Talk with Saskatchewan Roughrider legend Darian Durant. Double Talk is brought to you by Dutch Agriculture. Precision in every pass and consistent depth and better yield. Visit DutchOpeners.com. On farm for you.
You know, Darian, we really should have just moved our May-long weekend to match yours because it was snowing last weekend and it is essentially Florida weather here today.
Yeah, I just heard that there was a heat wave warning there in Saskatchewan this time of the year in May, and I was super surprised. So congrats to you guys. I know you guys are looking forward to getting out of the snow in wintertime. So, I mean, what better way to welcome you than just a heat wave?
But you know what? It's football weather. Football is back. Well, at least it was this weekend. It wasn't quite 30 degrees. It was like a perfect 20 Celsius, no wind, sunshine. And yeah, it was preseason, but it's still a win over Winnipeg. And you know that that's just as important as a playoff game for some fans.
Absolutely. You have to set the tone early. It doesn't matter who's out there. The starters didn't get very much time at all, especially on offense, but they got a chance to go down early and just set the tone and let Winnipeg know that, look, we're going to be here this entire season. We know what it's like to go against those guys in the heated rivalry. So, like I said, man, you want to make a statement early, and I think the Rider offense definitely did a good job of that.
I don't even think you needed Trevor Harris to step out onto that field, but it was still nice to see. You know, he's ready to go. He's ready to play. But when we looked at the other quarterbacks, you know, in Cone and, you know, Shager. Let's start here. Shager to the hometown kid and Daniel Wiebe to score the game-winning touchdown late in the fourth quarter. Oh, you had to have got goosebumps watching that one as well, Darian.
Man, that's special. I mean, these guys don't get the opportunity. It doesn't come along often. I mean, to be able to be in front of your home province, to go out there and play for the Riders, a team you grew up watching, that's just huge. So, but this was a great opportunity for all the young quarterbacks to, with Trevor moving the ball down on the very first possession, you know that he wasn't probably going to come back in the game. So this gave the other quarterbacks pretty much an entire game to go out there and show what they can do.
So one of our commenters on our YouTube chat talked about the poise that they felt that Braden Shager had because his feet were locked in the pocket. He wasn't bouncing around. Is that a true sign? What are the things that we should be dissecting as we do in Rider Nation? Go back and watch the film to tell us which quarterback had a good outing.
Well, I think it's a great sign. I mean, you also want to see a little bit better accuracy, decision making as well. But he comes from that Hawaii offense, and it's always known to have polished passers. They're wide open. They attack the ball, basically a running style shoot offense, and they're known for throwing the ball. So I think with all the reps that he had in college of just being in the shotgun, throwing with the spread offense, he'll definitely look more polished. But definitely wanted to see a little bit more accuracy and better decision making from Shager.
2 pick sixes by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Anything to be concerned about for the Saskatchewan Roughrider faithful?
You know what? I mean, whenever you don't have a guy that can just go out there and establish himself and make sure that he shows that he's in command, there's no questions asked. I think that there's also, room to worry. I mean, you haven't seen any guy go out there and show that he's the guy. So I think you have to question that right now just in case anything happens to Trevor. But, I think what we don't see is the practice reps, the film from practice, different situations that Coach Mace may put ahead of them in practice to see who excels in those situations. We don't get a chance to see that. But what we do see is when the lights come on and there's pressure, and I don't think anyone kind of stepped up himself when the pressure was really on.
When I followed junior hockey, coaches would often talk about how difficult it was to keep up the intensity and maintain that when they were in long stretches between games. Coach Mace was quick to say, no, don't worry about that. We're going to come out. We're going to be physical. We're going to be okay. But isn't there a little bit of a letdown knowing that you're not specifically building for a game right now that isn't 6 days away?
Well, I wouldn't say that. I think, anticipation is a good thing, right? And I think that with the Riders being the defending Grey Cup champs, extra weekend in time to, prepare, get ready, see what happens, and just sit back and rest yourselves in case there were any knickknacks that happened during camp. But I think that the anticipation for the game is going to be there. They're going to be super hyped, but more than anything, they're going to be rested. They're going to be healthy, and that's what you want going into week one, right? Some of the offensive linemen didn't get a chance to get out there and get any reps, so you just want to make sure everyone's good to go.
How do you feel about the depth on the O-line and what you've seen in these first 2 preseason games?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, Trevor wasn't touched, and I was happy to see that. I think that the other 2 quarterbacks, they hold the ball a little bit more. This is a timing offense with Trevor out there, so I think the depth is there. I think, you have the reigning most outstanding lineman in Yoshi. He's back. So I don't have any doubt that this O-line can replicate what they did last year. And like I said, with Trevor being the timing thrower that he is, I think it'll just help the O-line out tremendously.
How does that impact the rest of the team, though? As you mentioned, it's a timing offense. So if you're not exactly on the same time as Trevor, does that mean demise?
Well, I don't want to say that now. I think we're speaking a little too much on the situation where Trevor may not be there. I don't like to speak in those terms, but as of now, you have to look at Coach Mueller, their offensive staff. You have to feel like they know what they're doing. They know how to get quarterbacks ready. They've been around some of the best in the game, Hall of Fame type guys. So they know how to make sure guys are prepared and ready to go. But, I would definitely still have a slight question in the back of my head. If something were to ever happen to Trevor, there may be cause for concern.
Can you evaluate chemistry? I mean that Abdul Jannah Jr., for example, catches 106 yards in passing in that football game, but he caught passes from all 3 quarterbacks that throw except for Tommy Stevens, who didn't connect with him on an opportunity. So he said, I've got chemistry. Can you evaluate that and say, there you go, there's a plus?
Of course. I mean, the guys, that means for him to even say that means the guys are putting in the work after practice, before practice, meetings, because, with the ones, he's really going to get very, very few reps, being that they're trying to make sure their chemistry is together. But you can see that he's definitely has some type of in syncness with the other guys. So, that just goes to show the work they put in during the week after practice and making sure that they're all on the same page. He's come out these preseason games and definitely made a name for himself.
What'd you see on the defensive side of the ball?
I saw the defense, show some spurts. I think that they're a veteran-led team, and that secondary and the linebackers, they'll make sure they're okay. Like I've said before, my only concern is just the pass rush. Like I said, with losing Malik Carney and Micah Johnson, I'm definitely concerned if the Riders can, show up and get after the opposing team's quarterback with what they have. So we'll see. But if I did have any question marks, it would be with that defensive line.
Can you take me inside the quarterback room then for the Saskatchewan Roughriders and just your expertise? What's going on there? Is there mutual coaching between all of the athletes in the room? Is there mutual competition between all of the athletes in the room? Is there a balance? Is there a ratio?
I think between Shager and Cohen, it's a little bit tense. There's you could definitely sense the sense of urgency. Who's the guy? We want to know who's going to be given the keys in case anything happens to Trevor. So I think more so than those guys helping each other, they're competing against each other. They want to show that they're the guy that can back up the team in case something happens. And for Trevor, it's all about polish for him. It's about making sure that teams aren't doing different things in the preseason that they haven't shown in the past, making sure he's mentally sharp and ready to go. Physically, he looked great. I mean, the timing's there. We saw that on the deep ball to Keyshawn Johnson. So I think everything for him physically is there. It's all about making sure he's mentally sharp and he's just polishing up on things that they may need to sharpen up on as the season gets here.
Is awkward a term that could be deployed for describing the quarterback room right now?
Definitely, man. I mean, look, we all think the same way, and we all have seen what the two quarterbacks put out there on the field, and they know that they haven't shown their best. They both have turnovers. They both were sporadic at times, and so. It's definitely awkward. It's an awkward energy. It's an awkward feeling, and for the coaches, they have to walk by and go in meetings every single day, without an answer for the guys until it's that time. So it's a weird feeling, man. I remember being in that situation with Stephen Giles and not knowing, what my role was going to be for the season. Guys just want to know their role, right? You want to know what is to be expected of you. You know that you're going to be on the team, but in what capacity? How can you contribute? So, awkward's a good word to use there.
So when you became the guy then, right, there's people battling behind you for position on the depth chart. Do you, as the veteran guy, just, hey, you guys do you, we'll talk later? Or how do you how do you encompass the whole team mentality in that?
It's not easy, but I mean, you have to put the team first. I mean, that's what it's all about. You have to win. It's about winning football games. Of course, everyone wants to be the starter. And if you're a backup, you can't be that guy. So you just try to, like I said, you just try to find your role. What do you need to do to make sure that the team wins, whether that's give a great look at scout team during the week, or if that just means keeping your body ready to go. So, while you're in competition with your teammates, is definitely awkward. Is not a good feeling, but at the same time, you are teammates. You are there for the same common cause. You want to win games, so you have to try to keep the professionalism first and foremost in everyone's head, and then the competition second.
I'm curious what your thoughts were, just moving over to Winnipeg here quickly. Elgersma has been very hyped up in this league, and we got our first look at him on the field on Saturday up in Saskatoon. Overhyped? Right on par? Underhyped? Thoughts?
Oh, man, I hate to be the judge of guys, without much film. I can just say that potential's there. You see some flashes of the arm talent. He's able to move outside of the pocket. You just see that he could develop into something given the opportunity. It's all about reps. And Zach's there. Zach's the guy. And if he can't get a lot of reps with the number one guys, then, he's not going to be able to show very much. So I would just say that he has potential. He's shown that he can make every throw. He can move. And he seems to be able to manage the offense pretty well. So we'll see. But it was definitely good to see him get out there and get some reps.
Interestingly, you pointed to arm talent first. Is that number one, you got to have arm talent, and then what's number two?
I think it's about command. It's about commanding the offense, commanding the huddle. Make sure guys believe in you. They can look at you in that huddle and know that they're being led by the right guy. So many times, not only executives, but teammates, they overlook the ability for the guy to be in command, the guy. And you always want to make sure you have your troops behind you. So I think being in command is a very underrated trait. And I think that's right behind making sure you have the arm talent to go out there and do what you need to do.
You've exploited some young defensive backs in your time. There were some young defensive backs that were on the field. A couple of them alluded to the fact that, oh, wow, there's a 12th guy out here that I didn't really think that I forgot about. And then there's that sideline that I thought was right here, actually was way over there. And when you are looking and evaluating defensive backs, what are you seeing and those that can simulate or assimilate to the Canadian game and maybe use their talents to go ahead and further their career here in Canada?
Well, the first thing you have to be able to do is adapt to the game. I mean, there are no excuses. Like I said, in practice is one thing, but when you get in live action and you're forgetting that there's another guy out there, or you miss your assignment, or you can't see something that you need to see, and I'm sorry, it's unfortunate, but you just may not be the right guy for the job. It's all about the guys who are smart enough to adapt, adjust, and be able to make plays with very little prep time. And that goes to being in your book at night, not going back to your room playing video games, or making sure you talk to your wife or girlfriend. Sometimes you have to put some of the important things in your life to the side and make sure you're able to adjust to the CFL game. We all know it's a different game, and there's no excuses when it comes to a guy not being able to see what he needs to see when the lights are bright.
And I guess that takes me down the road because Malcolm Bell had an interception. I don't know if you knew this, Darian. He was from an exceptional school, Michigan State University. But he looks like he's really grasping the game quickly for a guy that hasn't played it since grade 11. He's got the stature. He's got seemingly the smarts. But if you're evaluating a defensive back, is that an easy process to do by just watching quickly and maybe getting a better read on, or a quicker read than, say, a quarterback or a receiver?
Yeah. I mean, look, the guy's, he's been a part of the Canadian game before, and, he's only 6-7 years removed from it. So I'm sure that he'll be able to adjust quickly, and he's shown that he has the talent already. I mean, he went to a big-time university. Yes, I'm agreeing that Michigan State is a big-time school. Shout out to my boy Luke Mullender. But, I mean, look, he played in some big-time games, and, Michigan State, they weren't very good, but they played against some very good competition. So, he has the pedigree. It's there. And he's shown that he can adjust back to the game, and he's showing that he belongs. And that's always good to see, man. Whenever you can have some corners who have that Canadian stamp on their jersey, it helps out the entire roster.
Joking aside, seriously, when you do come from the schools and the environment, right? Again, whether you want to talk about your alma mater, right, UNC, or whether you want to talk about Michigan State or Notre Dame like Jack Cohn, or Penn State like you're talking Tommy Stevens, how much does that big school translate into maybe furthering you or putting you advanced a little bit more than other players that have come from smaller schools?
Well, when it comes to the mental side, I think, and the competition aspect of it, I think that you kind of have an edge there. When you tend to go to bigger colleges, there are more talented guys there that you have to compete against. So you kind of used to fighting for your position each and every year. So mentally, when it comes to getting to a camp or combines or different things like that, you're usually ready to go because, there's no more pressure than playing in front of 90,000 fans or having the top, guy in the state come at your position, and now you have to fend him off to keep your position. So it's definitely a lot more pressure. But when I look at guys from smaller schools, they always have that underdog mentality, right? They always have that, I don't like to say chihuahua, but some chihuahuas are very mean, and they'll bite you if you come test them. And I think that's kind of the attitude that guys from smaller schools have. So sometimes when you come from a bigger school, you may be a little more arrogant. It's a gift and a curse. I've been around a lot of guys who come from big time universities who feel like they should be given something because of where they play ball. But at the end of the day, man, everyone has to strap up, put the pads on, and show what they can do on the field. And may the best man win at every single position.
And just really quickly here, CFL ratifying some rule changes, one of them being the 35-second play clock, which we saw in action for a couple of games here. Do you like it? What do you think?
I just want to get into a situation where the game is on the line and it's the fourth quarter, intensity's up. I still think it's a pretty good idea. I'm just kind of in that wait and see mode until it's really high stakes, pressure's on. Then we can see how it really works. But it's still a feel out process right now for me.
What should we watch for? Sorry, Tegan. What should we watch for? 4 days of practice coming up. Again, roster cuts right after it. What should we be looking for? And again, what's going on behind the scenes right now as we go through these final four of training camp?
Well, I think we should definitely keep an eye out at the quarterback position in that backup battle. I think that's going to be a very interesting one that may come down to the wire. Like I said, both guys showed that they have ability, but it's all about the consistency. And I want to see them both, or one guy kind of step up and show the consistency to show that he's the guy. And then, like I've been saying pretty much this entire offseason, man, I want to see the D-line kind of get a lot more active in the next couple of days. I think that, when you look at the preseason, the game plans are very vanilla, so you don't really get a chance to see guys do stunts and twist up front and show their abilities in other ways. So I just have question marks about the defensive line, and let's see what happens at the quarterback position.
Also, maybe bring this up next week. Think about it, but we started a conversation that apparently has taken off. There needs to be a nickname for Tommy Stevens. So if you got a good one, pass it along. We can add it to the bracket.
Okay, that's something to think about.
Yeah.
Were you always doubles?
Yep. Ever since I got to Saskatchewan, Coach Tommy Condell was my very first OC. He named me doubles. So
is it usually from a coach, or is it decided amongst the players? Does it just depend on the player?
Well, I think you know what, you just never know. It just sometimes you throw a name out there, it sticks, and that's just what happened with me.
Nothing in college before that?
Oh, in college, yeah, it was. It wasn't doubles; it was double D. They would call me double D, or they call me D block for like D squared or whatever, something like that. But it's always been D something, whether it's double D or D block.
Okay.
I like D block. And by the way, Tommy Torque is a great answer for that.
I like Tommy the Tank.
I like that. I was going to say Tommy Train or something or the T Train or something like that. But, we'll see. I got a week to think about it.
Yeah. I didn't want to put you on the spot, right?
Yeah, but it is a holiday today. Don't think about it today.
Yeah, don't think about it tonight. Go fire up the barbecue, the smoker, grab yourself a cold one, and I really hope that you enjoy your Memorial Day.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for this. Appreciate it, as always, Darian. That is Double Talk with Darian Durant, brought to you by Dutch Agriculture. For consistent depth, better yield, and precision where it counts, visit DutchOpeners.com. Dutch Agriculture, on farm for you. And of course, Darian joining us on that Western Pizza guest hotline, which we appreciate. Coming up, we still have your sports ticker on the way. We're also going to have a conversation with Gary Brotzel in our first Regina Red Sox report of the season, as their training camp just got underway at 3 o'clock this afternoon. So we'll be back. It's a Sports Cage on the home of local sports and Rider Nation on 620 CKRM and streaming at sportscage.com. Welcome back to the Monday installment of the Sports Cage. You got Tegan Whitco, Dave Thomas, Curtis Gammon with you. Appreciate you taking the time, wherever you might be, driving out to the lake already, maybe. Beautiful day.
Only if you're celebrating Memorial Day, you're driving out to the lake.
Well, you never know. Maybe people took a week off of work.
I'm not saying it's out of the realm of possibility.
Maybe there's some people who are picking up propane tanks. Maybe some steaks,
Like both of those ideas. Thank you.
I mean, I'm just looking forward to this weekend when I finally get to go to Curry Field and catch some baseball action. Oh. And you know what? Time for our first Regina Red Sox report, brought to you by Unifor Local 594. Okay. We don't have an intro yet. That's okay. It's our first one of the season, right?
Do you want me to sing?
No,
okay,
please
good.
don't. Please don't. But joining us now ahead of the home opener later this week, training camp just got underway today for the Red Sox. The one, the only, Gary Brotzel. How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing good. Good. Yeah. Great day out there.
Yeah, no kidding. I bet you had to bust out the sunscreen today at Curry Field.
It was baseball weather finally. It was awesome.
Yeah, it took long enough, but we don't need to dote on that too much.
Yeah.
How are things looking at the ballpark?
Well, I pulled up today about 1:30. I thought there was actually one of our games going on. There must have been 50 cars at the park today. Just workers getting stuff, trying to get stuff finished before our home opener. It was just a flurry of activity there before we hit the field.
Well, and we saw some pictures on the Red Sox socials. It looks like there's a little bit of light construction taking place.
Yeah, you're going to notice the park's going to look a little bit different. There's a bunch of cladding that's going on all the ends of the bleachers, so you won't be able to see under them or crawl under them type of thing. They're working on getting the wiring in for the video board today. There's people working on the concession, getting stuff there. The merch trailer was getting filled. The new beer shack, lots of activity in there. There's going to be a keg system installed. So, yeah, lots of changes this year.
Wow. I know under, Queen City Sports and Entertainment from this season onward, people were anticipating a couple changes. And I don't know if you have the answer to this, Gary, but one of the questions I've been hearing from fans, will there still be a beer batter?
You bet. Okay. Yeah, that discussion took place yesterday. Oh. So, yes, it'll be sponsored by Molson's, and I believe it'll still be the 2 for $12 that we did last year. So, yes, can't mess with tradition.
Giving the people what they want.
Exactly.
Well, as we look forward to this 2026 campaign, Gary Brotzel, I know you and Rai Pathakis have been extremely busy assembling the roster. What does it look like after the championship team you fielded last year?
It looks good. I popped into the dressing room there just briefly, and I couldn't believe how many players we actually have. I'm just doing the math right now. I think our whole roster... probably within maybe less than 5, I think, yet to come. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's looking good. It looked like a full slate at practice. So, yeah, awesome way to start the season, and not going to be short for the first few games. So that's a plus. Last
year, this time, weren't you still missing like 13 players?
Yeah, we started out. It was a little thin, and part of that is, it's. You want your players to do well in advance, but we had all those guys from that LSU Shreveport team that eventually won the NAIA World Series. So I guess maybe our recruiting, we don't have as many players that are making a deep run, but that's okay.
How much of a carryover can you have with this group from last year? Or do you start from scratch?
I'm just going off the top of my head. It's either 10 or 12. So lots of returnees, which is good. Lots of leadership. Returning Brady By, Daniel Castellanos, Jalen Myers, Justin Simard. Who am I missing here? Vittorio Ikabuchi is going to be late towards the end of June. Xander Odie Singer, Colton Bank. Daniel Crabtree, who didn't play last year, is coming back. He played the 2 previous seasons, a senior. And a good host of local returnees. Red Hodgins back. Lots of leadership there, and we're hoping to have a quick start, get out of the gate quick, and win some ball games.
Well, and it's a pretty hefty schedule, right? I mean, the next 2.5, I guess, consecutive months. Just game. So I know you've been in this game for a long time here, Gary. You've definitely seen your fair share of baseball. And there is new ownership with this team, but how does this season feel personally different for you? You were there the last time that the Regina Red Sox won the league. Does it feel anything like that?
Yeah, there's a few subtle changes, behind the scenes, but everybody's still focused, and winning's the name of the game, and we want to win another championship.
Run it back.
Yep.
You guys said it. I'm just saying, let's have a great season, and I know it's going to go in good places, all right? You guys...
Well, if you're not showing up with the intention of winning it, then why show up, right?
Very true. And you know what? Show up is what fans did at the end of last year. You talked about a few things that aesthetically around the ballpark that they can enjoy, but I thought it was such a great family atmosphere last year that, there was people of all ages and coming on out, some bringing ball gloves. Like, none of that's going to change. It's still going to be Red Sox baseball.
Absolutely. None of that is going away. There's still a youth ticket for $5, and the nice part about having that video board, there'll be a lot more, I'm assuming, fan interaction with the games, and that you see at Mosaic and at Brant. I'm sure a lot of that's going to transfer over to our games, and it should be awesome.
Can confirm. I also see there's an autograph alley. Yes, I can. I also understand there's going to be an autograph alley this year, which is going to be a lot of fun for, the fans to get to know some of these ball players, because I'm sure that you get to know them pretty well by the end of the summer, and they're pretty nice gentlemen.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, I did hear about the autograph alley. I'm not exactly sure where it's going to go, but we still got a few days to figure that out.
And of course, me, thinking what it's all about me. Are there new concession items this year? Did I hear that somewhere along the lines, or
Yeah, like Queen City Distilleries is running the concession, and they're very experienced. The people there. I think one of them ran a restaurant in New York or something. So, yeah, I think you're going to still see the ballpark fair for the most part, and then I think I can confirm. I believe there's going to be one or two food trucks as well. So, little different variety besides and having that extra food truck option will cut down on the lineups as well.
But still all calorie free, just as in the past.
Yeah.
Exactly. Nothing deep fried. And, well, hot dogs are good for you, right?
That's right, 100%.
Well, Gary, I know that you're probably still at the ballpark, and you probably have 1,000 things to do as we head into the first week of this season. But I did want to ask you quickly. I saw the inaugural Jesse Lubinecki Memorial Scholarship was awarded earlier this week. How special is that?
Yeah, that was just sent to me. I can't even remember who sent. I really didn't know it was happening, and I think it was one of our billets or one of our fans sent us the video, and I watched it, and I was like, wow, what a great tribute, and it was great to see the Lubinecki family get behind that. So for the people that don't know, there'll be a scholarship in Jesse's name at Taft College going forward. So, yeah, just an awesome tribute, and couldn't be happier to see that.
Yeah, that's very, very cool.
Yeah.
Well, Gary, I guess I'll see you at the ballpark this weekend. Appreciate the time, as always.
Yeah, awesome, and I think it's supposed to be 30 degrees on the weekend, so beer sales will be brisk.
I will bring my sunscreen. I know I will need it.
Yeah, awesome. We'll see you then.
All right. Appreciate it, Gary, as always. Joining us on the Western Pizza guest hotline for the Red Sox Report, which is brought to you by Unifor Local 594. Why don't we take a quick break? Because we need to still do our sprinkle of the day. I think I know what I want to sprinkle on, so we're going to do that in just a little bit here. First, quick timeout. We'll be back. It's the Sports Cage on the home of local sports, 620 CKRM, and streaming at sportscage.com. Well, thank you for being here. It's Tegan Whitco, Dave Thomas, Curtis Gammon. Join in the conversation at any point. 306-936-6262 on the Prairieland Rentals text line. Wreck-It Tommy, another potential nickname for Tommy Stevens.
Wreck-It, okay.
Like Wreck-It Ralph, I'm assuming?
Maybe. Yeah, it makes sense. I understand.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it. There's a lot in here, but keep them coming. Prairieland Rentals text line 306-936-6262. Prairieland Rentals, from small power tools to skid steers, they probably have what you need, and you get to deal with the owner directly at 600 Albert Street. Okay, I think it's time to take a peek at our sprinkle of the day, which is brought to you by Sports Select. So just go to sportsselect.com. Getting in on more of the sports action is as easy as playing at sportsselect.com. Simply make your picks, generate the QR code, go to your local Lotto Spot retailer, bring it in, or you can always go the old-fashioned way and just fill out that little piece of paper. Every bet is legal, 100%. Chance of winning cash in hand. Sports Select, when you're ready to play, bet on the original. You got to be 18 plus, though, and you need to play responsibly. You can also look at futures. And, gentlemen, I think that's where I would like to go today for a little bit of a sprinkle. I want to see what the possibility would be for a Stanley Cup final between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Montreal Canadiens.
Ooh.
Yes. Because I might sprinkle.
You might sprinkle.
I might sprinkle a little something here because I just love the storyline. I mentioned it kind of earlier in the show, but the fact that the Vegas Golden Knights are essentially the villains in the league to everybody else. Everyone seems to just... I kind of love their story. I like how feisty they are. I like the fact that they brought in John Tortorella and everybody said this is a dumb idea. It's never been done, that they go on to the Stanley Cup with a brand new coach, only 9 games left in the regular season, and they go on that deep. And the fine. And the second round draft pick that was pulled from them for not making themselves available to the media. I kind of love the villain aspect of it.
You're looking at me so bad because I called out Tortorella, said it was a stupid hire. I had no faith in their ability. So, yeah.
So here's the thing. If you don't mind pulling that back up, Curtis. Plus, Canadian team.
Yeah,
Montreal
okay.
Canadiens.
Yeah.
I got to take them in 7 games Stanley Cup final against the Vegas Golden Knights.
Okay.
So, playoff. You know what? Let's start with, go down a little bit. And then, So let's take Montreal Canadiens.
525 to Vegas 230.
To Vegas 230. I'll take that action. I would do Montreal Canadiens.
On Montreal.
Yes.
Right.
And
Okay,
then I could sprinkle a little bit on the Golden Knights winning this series over the Avs. Which those odds aren't great because it's 3-0.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if I'm going to bother with that, but I'm going to take the Habs. That's not a bad sprinkle.
That's a pretty good sprinkle. I will give you credit for that. I think that is a very good idea.
It does not sound like you're sold.
No, I'm not saying I'm not sold. I think it's a good sprinkle.
Okay.
I think it's got value there. And of course, if I had my little pencil, I'd fill in the little card, or I'd do the QR code that makes life so much easier.
And if anybody wants to go against me on this, you can just go to the futures tab at sportselect.com and then tell me I'm completely wrong when Montreal gets knocked out.
So up on the screen right now, there are the odds for who will win that series, Carolina-Montreal. The Habs don't have a lot of hope according to that.
Well, and I don't understand why. I know they're a young team.
I don't think anybody
shouldn't have the best game.
I just don't think anybody anticipated them where they are. Like, there's a lot of people, I think, looking at this. The best odds are for it to go 6 games in favor of the Hurricanes.
Yes. And I could see that happening. I believe you predicted that earlier.
I think I might have.
You might have. I'm not going to put words in your mouth here. Which, yes, I could see that happening. But, I mean, you might as well just go for the storybook finish, right? Game 7.
10.5 right now on the Habs in 5 games. So for them to sweep the remaining 3 games of the series. Take it in 5. Whew.
Yeah. It is a possibility, though. I mean, everybody likes to remind us here in Canada how long it's been since the Canadian team has won the Stanley Cup. Well, mathematically, you have way more American teams in the States anyway, so I don't want to hear it.
Ha! All right, fair enough.
I mean, what are the odds on that, right?
So it shall be.
Okay, that is your sprinkle of the day, and it is brought to you by Sports Select. Yeah, now I'm going to have to stop and do a little sprinkle on my way home here. Also, Saskatchewan Roughrider 50/50 might need to grab a ticket for this as well. They do a lot of exclusive giveaways and experiences, and this one's pretty cool, right? Because they have an early bird prize for every single game. Last week, what was it? It was a whole bunch of like suite experiences for. It was also season tickets for 10 seasons, which is incredible. So this week, there's also a bunch of different ticket packages that you can buy. This one includes 3 nights at the Malcolm Hotel in Canmore, an ice field adventure, and a ride on a Banff gondola. Or if that's not really your thing, that's cool. I mean, I feel like that would be a lot of fun. I have never been to Banff. I've only ever been to Canmore briefly for a wedding. So I feel like I know Curtis over here, who is from Alberta.
Now here comes the chime in for Tourism Alberta. Yeah, don't care about the sprinkle of the day. Clutch performer, whatevs.
Yeah.
Tell me more about Canmore, Curtis. Why not?
Why do I want to take this trip instead of the $3,600 in cash, which is the other option?
Because mountains are cool and you can check out the mountains.
Have you ever done an ice field adventure?
I'm kind of tall. No, I haven't. Funny thing is, like, if you live really close to them, like, you always take it for granted. You're like, if you can do a day trip to the mountains, it's like, why bother? It's tourists everywhere.
So did you ever ride the gondola in Banff?
I have. I made one particular trip to actually, like, go and, like, stay there for the weekend. And definitely recommend. Like, it's one of those things you got to do on the bucket list. You got to stay like a weekend in Banff at one point or another. Have a nice steak, go in, get some dinner fondue,
stay
go
at
to
the Malcolm
mountain
Hotel.
gondola. Exactly.
Ugh. You know what? I get what you're saying, though, because I am from Moose Jaw, and I can tell you I have been to the tunnels once. They're a lot of fun, but it is that, well, it's always here. I'll just go next time, right? I've only been to the Tunnels. I did go to the spa a lot, though, I'll be honest. So if you want to get your tickets, by the way, Saskatchewan Roughrider 50/50 Foundation, just go to riders5050.ca. And yes, you do have a little bit of extra time, but you probably don't want to wait. The deadline Tuesday, June 9th at 10 p.m. because that first game at home is June 13th, including in this week's training camp. And then, of course, that bye week for technically week 1 in the CFL. So Saskatchewan Roughrider 50/50. Grab your tickets while you still can. Still to come, we got your sports ticker, and then that pretty much does it for us, gentlemen. So why don't we take a quick break? We'll be back in a few. It's a Sports Cage on the home of local sports, 620 CKRM, and streaming at sportscage.com.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Steel Craft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canadians.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders announced that they have signed 2 players today, American receiver Javian J.J. Hester and American defensive back Stephen Weston Jr. They also made one release, and that was offensive lineman Darius Washington, who was a little bit nicked up after the first half of that preseason game up in Saskatoon. National Hockey League conference finals continue. Carolina Hurricanes and Montreal Canadiens. 6 o'clock, that series all tied up, so that means it's now a best of 5. Memorial Cup, 7 o'clock local time. You got WHL's Everett Silvertips taking on Kitchener. Major League Baseball on right now. Toronto Blue Jays and the Miami Marlins. We're at the top of the 4th here. Miami is up 1-0. No runners on. Let me see here. And then we also have your SportsCage.com poll. What was it? Oh, yeah. Do you think the U Sports should change their field dimensions to mirror the CFL in 2027? So I'm just making my vote right now at SportsCage.com because I haven't done this yet. And my vote is the popular vote. So by 62.37%, no. Very simple responses. Yes and no. No in between.
That was Luke's response as well. No.
I listened to that when he was on the cage with you and Barney last week, and I completely understand why should U Sports be on the hook.
Totally. Actually, until Luke explained what he was thinking, I was like, no, everybody should change. But I'm like, no, you're right. Like, why does anybody have to change?
They're not getting money from the CFL.
Nobody needs to adapt or change. No,
I
agree.
Not at all. So I tend to agree. What do you think? You can let us know by voting at sportscage.com. Should U Sports change their field dimensions to mirror the CFL in 2027? I think it's an interesting conversation regardless. But we are nearing the end of our time with you here. It was a fun show. We had Darian Durant on.
Mm-hmm.
Really good conversation with him after 2 weeks not having him on because it was a holiday Monday for us. It was a holiday Monday for him today, but I digress. You can go back and listen to it in podcast form, anywhere you get your podcasts. And that's thanks to Freeze, Tallman Lumber. You can also listen to our chat with Gary Brotzel as we head into the first week of the WCBL regular season. We had a great conversation with Michelle Duchene as well from the Saskatoon Valkyries. That was a fun chat. So you can go back and listen to any part of today's show on YouTube as well if you want to watch the stream. But with that being said, I gotta kick us off the air here, guys. Thank you for joining us on the Monday edition of the Sports Cage for Smoke'em Diesel. Barney will be back in through the rest of the week on behalf of Curtis and Dave and myself. Good night from the Sports Cage studio on the corner of 12th and Rose.